The scene shows the Heavenly Demon Palace as someone remarks that the rare medicine won't work either. An elderly man apologizes respectfully to the cult heir while bowing deeply in a traditional room. He admits that energy deviation cannot be solved easily and takes full responsibility for it. He lies down in a dimly lit room, blaming himself for being a half-assed pupil. Jinsu tells the other man he will leave it to him, and the man respectfully agrees, while a narration reveals he became the cult heir of the Heavenly Demon cult. Jinso Kazuhiro reflects on the uselessness of Hebe's prized medicine and wonders aloud where he might find something useful. A character steps forward and addresses the cult heir, saying it has been a while since they last met. The vice cult leader asks if the other has been well during his absence in a spacious, light-filled room. An older man with a stern expression looks forward confidently, his eyes sharp and focused. A man with long white hair comments that the tour around their land must have taken quite a while. An older man with a beard declares his obligation to ensure the Heavenly Demon cult's prosperity since the leader and heir cannot fulfill their duties. Jinso Kazuhiko acknowledges with a serious expression, expressing gratitude for the other's efforts as the second figure walks away in the background. Someone doubts that Chunhajin went on a trip just to check on how the people are doing. He warns to stop before he does anything stupid, his eyes intense and focused. He expresses surprise that the attack would happen in his own chamber, reflecting on the unexpected timing. He grimaces with blood on his mouth and clenched teeth, realizing why the drink was so deadly. Two shadowy figures ask if the others would like a drink as they sit in the dark. He grimly admits feeling bad for drinking it all alone while holding a cup, blood trickling from his mouth against a red background. During the attack, a character calmly remarks, "Oh dear," and reflects that even if the other brought prized liquor, it wouldn't change the situation. A dark figure with glowing eyes challenges an unseen opponent, asking if they dare fight in his own chamber, while multiple shadowy figures leap down toward a lone person standing below. Jinsu Kazuhiko calmly blocks an attack from multiple assailants leaping toward him simultaneously. Two shadowy figures with glowing eyes unleash a powerful blue energy attack, while someone exclaims in surprise about the use of illusion arts. The hooded figure approaches menacingly, while the man with flowing white hair declares that if the attacker wanted to kill him in his own place, something else must be planned. He smirks with a sinister glow in his eye, blood dripping from his mouth as dark energy swirls around him. Jinso warns the cult heirs as two hooded figures attack him fiercely with glowing eyes and dark energy surrounding the scene. He commands, "Enough!" as he unleashes a powerful attack with chained weapons, scattering shadowy figures while observing the aftermath and questioning if this is all prepared after setting the stage. A man with long white hair smirks darkly, bleeding from his mouth, and taunts someone about their nephew's potential disappointment. Three men with serious expressions sweat heavily, and the bearded one groans in pain. He recalls that Crane's red beak can melt an ox with a pinch, and wonders how someone can still laugh after drinking a cup of it. The character exclaims that he is a monster, emphasizing the terrifying nature of the subject. Jinso Kazuhiko, surrounded by fallen enemies and bound in chains with a purple aura, taunts his opponents, while one of them expresses shared disappointment over failed dreams. The man with a beard declares he won't allow an unskilled orphan to become the next leader, stating his superiors have given him permission to act, while the other man looks tense behind him. He smirks, noting their elders are easy to scare and questions their plan to attack him in a group after poisoning him. An older man angrily demands to know who is behind the situation, criticizing the cult heir for failing his role while pointing assertively. An older man with a beard looks shocked and asks, "What?" A man with a beard nervously questions the other, who confidently claims the decision was made with the elders and accuses him of lacking the guts to act. He accuses the elders of selling the cult to kill him and questions if their actions caused the master's current state. An enraged man shouts in denial while his hand crackles with intense blue energy. Jinsu approaches with a dark aura, preparing to confront the figure standing calmly across the room. Jinso Kazuhiko smirks with dark energy around him, acknowledging betrayal as he remarks on the cost of trusting someone, while an unseen voice condemns the traitor. Jinso Kazuhiko is propelled backward by a powerful blue energy blast, crashing through the ornate hallway with intense force. He crashes forcefully through the wall, surrounded by flying debris and energy. Jinso threatens the acting leader of the Heavenly Demon Divine cult, declaring he will end his life despite their shared training under the same master. A wounded man with long white hair smirks bitterly, accusing his opponent of being a puppet of outer forces due to their lack of wits. A fierce man angrily warns Yan Wunwei, about dying an easy death while bleeding and shouting in pain. An injured man assures the other he will correct mistakes and ensure the cult prospers, while the latter responds with a weak, bitter laugh. A bloodied man laughs maniacally while three warriors prepare to attack him with weapons glowing purple. A bloodied man with white hair smirks darkly and says he has been endured for so long, yet he is still not known. Jinso Kazuhiko confronts a man pinned against the wall, warning that if he wanted to kill him, he should have remembered one detail, while several others watch from below. Jinsu Kazuhito mocks the man holding his face, saying his mouth seems restless now that his time has come. A character with a fierce expression utters, "Is that?" against a dark red background, showing intense focus and surprise. A character tightly grips the ominous demon dragon sword, reacting with shock to its presence. He grabs the sword's hilt defensively while angrily asking if the other thinks he will allow their tricks. Jinso Kazuhiko unleashes a powerful mystic attack, while an older man watches in shock, questioning the amount of power gathered. He grimly declares that he has infused all his mystic power into the demon dragon sword, which holds the will of the first heavenly demon. He laughs maniacally, claiming he gathered all the energy needed to defend against the other's laughable attacks. A bearded man urgently commands the elders to assume a defensive formation and use their internal energy, emphasizing the need to act quickly. A dark sword ignites with purple flames as a voice declares it is too late, unleashing the soul-combusting hell flame art attack. Jinsu unleashes a powerful energy blast towards the group, who brace themselves against the overwhelming force in the room. A fierce battle erupts as one man screams in pain while another delivers a powerful punch. A fierce character shouts, "Yan Woon Hui!" with intense emotion, his face contorted in a powerful roar. The scene shows a large traditional building perched on a cliff under a dark, ominous sky with eerie purple sounds echoing around. The scene shows a mysterious tunnel entrance carved into a rocky mountain, illuminated by a bright, eerie light under a cloudy sky. A massive purple explosion erupts, radiating intense energy and light that engulfs the surroundings in a powerful blast. A lone figure stands amidst a snowy, desolate landscape, surrounded by ruins under a dark, stormy sky. A wounded man with long white hair kneels in the snow, silently acknowledging the falling flakes around him. Jinso Kazuhiko sits alone on a rocky slope while three men laugh and talk below near a stone wall, recalling a past event. Jinso Kazuhiko curses the two men, saying he will spare them despite calling one a damn ghost-seeing fool, while curled up on the ground in pain. A man with a confident smirk warns that if lies about carrying an evil spirit continue, he will ensure a terrible time for the accuser. He hears that the orphan's lower core is broken and mocks him for claiming to see ghosts, saying he would have killed himself long ago if he were in his place. A wounded man crouches on the ground, staring intently at a large rock in front of him. A rough hand tightly grips a jagged stone amidst a dusty, chaotic environment. An intense strike hits the ground, creating a large explosion and scattering debris in all directions. Jinso Kazuhiko smirks and says the exercise made him hungry, while a shadowy figure with glowing eyes lunges down behind him. The scene shows a dark background with glowing red Korean characters and the phrase, "to stay put" above them, emphasizing a command or warning. A man sits exhausted against a rocky wall in a snowy landscape, quietly thinking that those fuckers don't know. He looks intensely determined and begins to say when to give up. A man faces several menacing spirits who mock him, while he angrily demands them to leave. Jinsu listens intently as someone off-screen tells him he has special eyes, his expression a mix of surprise and curiosity. Jinzo, shocked on the ground, wonders aloud how the other man appeared without him sensing his presence. He notices and comments on an even more expensive-looking sword. The man, exhausted and bruised, thinks about someone coming specifically for him and speaks about his cursed eyes, inviting the other to take them as they wish. Jinso Kazuhiko questions if he can just take it, while the seated figure remarks that resisting seems pointless for a martial arts master. Jinso, holding the other by the collar, tells him that his eyes are no curse and he can do whatever he wants with them. One character comforts the other in a snowy landscape as they say that they are a blessing under a dramatic sky. The speaker explains that some people are born with a blessed upper energy core or a special streak in their soul. The narrator reflects that those children always ended up doing great things. The narration reflects doubt, as someone says the words were sweet but sounded like lies, claiming the other has the potential to become more special than anyone else in the world. He looks shocked and bruised as someone gently touches his face, their surroundings blurred by falling snow and a dramatic sky. Jinsu and Hajime stand side by side, gazing at the glowing sky as he speaks about commemorating the moment they met. Someone suggests naming the other person Woonwi in a calm, contemplative tone. A wounded man kneels in the snow, reflecting that he did whatever he could to help his master. A character reflects on how their flawed body caused their master to fall into a state of energy deviation. He clenches his teeth fiercely, blood dripping down his face, determined that accepting death here would be too pitiful. The character thinks about their body turning to dust and realizes it cannot survive no matter what they do. A character shouts that there is only one way as an intense explosion occurs, followed by a glowing figure meditating on a radiant lotus, illustrating the forbidden art of Zoroastrianism's primordial, divine wheel reincarnation. A glowing magical circle radiates intricate patterns, suggesting the activation of a powerful spell or ritual. A character channels mystic energy through a glowing magic circle, stating he has activated the art and now leaves its success to the heavens. A character, engulfed in flames, looks toward a distant temple, while a desperate plea, "Please, master," is heard. A fiery explosion erupts under a dark, cloudy sky, with glowing symbols floating amid the smoke and flames. A powerful golden beam erupts from the ground amid ruins as a voice commands to be safe until their return. A faint, ghostly face appears in the darkness above a flowing, translucent wave pattern, creating an eerie and mysterious atmosphere. He questions the other's role in visiting the clan head, and the other responds with frustration, finding the inquiry annoying. A voice warns someone to keep laying low as the son of a concubine, while the scene shows a dimly lit traditional room. Jinsu struggles to lift himself up, feeling numb and tingling all over while recalling how waking to the sound of screeching is the worst. Jinsu's eyes widen in shock, his face marked with scratches and tension. Renko angrily calls out to Tang Wunhui, demanding if he is listening and telling him to get up from the floor immediately. Jinsu, clutching his side and looking weak, reflects on the irony of sharing a name while the other insists he has been emphasizing something since earlier. A furious man shouts angrily, accusing someone of failing to respond to an adult while raising his arm aggressively. One person grabs the other's wrist to stop them from wielding a wooden stick, tension and surprise evident in the sudden struggle. Jinsu angrily tells someone to turn their face away because their breath stinks, then insults them by calling them an old hag. Hajime Renko angrily defends herself with a stick, reacting to being called an old hag, while a large hand reaches toward her. Jinsu Kazuhiko warns firmly not to leave until understanding mistakes, slamming the door with force. Jinsu sighs in relief at the peace and quiet while internally noting the child's stepmother from the body's remaining ego. Jinsu Kazuhiko explains that the primordial divine wheel reincarnation only works on bodies that have just died or are about to die, his expression serious and tired. He reflects that his old life was pitiful, but Tang Wunhui's situation might be just as bad. He admits that his body is barely trained and in bad health. Jinsu Kazuhiko, injured and tense, reflects quietly, saying that is probably why he died while clutching his shoulder. He reveals a glowing lower energy core in his body, explaining he can train it to learn martial arts and control the dead with his eyes, while a fierce spirit looms behind him. Jinsu, battered and determined, clenches his hand and vows that only then will he be able to protect his master. Jinsu clenches his fist with determination, vowing to confront those who betrayed him and challenge the heavenly demon divine cult. He exclaimed with fierce determination, declaring just who they had messed with. The narration introduces the Sichuan Tang clan as one of Muriam's 6 great clans, and the ruler of Sichuan Murim, set against a stormy night backdrop. The narration explains the geographical locations of various sects and temples surrounding the central area, highlighting their significance and opposition to the heavenly demon divine cult. 7 shadowy figures stand under the full moon, their silhouettes sharp against the cloudy night sky, while one figure is seen flying or falling in the distance. A group of armed men stand together in the misty night, their backs turned as they prepare for an impending confrontation. A group of armed figures stands over fallen bodies as the narration reveals the leader of the Tempest Squad, known as Tempest Swordsman, named Tang Hosen. The narration reveals that he founded the 9 Dragons branch, a division of the Tang clan, with the Tempest Squad. The scene shows the bustling commerce and strategic hub of 9 Dragons County in Sichuan Murim, with no characters visible or speaking. The narration explains Tang Hosan had 3 heirs, introducing his first child Tang Kyujin and third child Tang Yucheng, while showing their serious expressions against a dark background. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands solemnly in the foreground while a towering, ominous figure with glowing eyes looms behind him, surrounded by swirling smoke and embers. Jinsu silently contemplates after being told to go and beg for forgiveness, while someone internally acknowledges he is an heir candidate. A servant angrily complains about the food restrictions in the White Pavilion, while the other character thinks about how surprising it is that he is looked down upon even by a servant. A man angrily tells someone to beg the matriarch for forgiveness, warning that punishment will follow. Jinsu strikes with a powerful palm attack, sending two men flying backward with force inside a traditional wooden building. The man angrily exclaims that he was being kind by giving advice, shocked and frustrated by the response he received. Jinsu warns the kneeling man that he can't help him if he continues acting this way, while the other responds with confusion. A character warns about getting into trouble and reporting to the matriarch, while another pleads for the hitting to stop. A character apologizes desperately in the darkness, their words echoing with urgency. She tells Hyung-sam she trusts him to do the right thing because he is her mother's hometown friend, and asks if he understands how she feels. A man gratefully promises to never forget their kindness and vows to work harder to serve both of them. Jinso Kazuhiko menacingly demands something, and the other person nervously agrees to prepare it immediately. A man bows deeply and says he will be right back, before quickly leaving the room. A loud impact sound echoes sharply, emphasizing a sudden and powerful action or event. Jinzu Kazuhiko complains about his hand hurting after hitting Tang Wunhui, noting the latter's weak body and lack of allies within the Tang clan. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands alone in a spotlight, his expression serious as ripples form around his feet on the ground. He explains that the matriarch's bullying partly causes the problem, making it difficult to move around within the Tang clan at this rate. He explains that he can only accumulate inner energy, but cannot use the Heavenly Demon 9 slashes due to the conflicting Tang clan energy in his body. He thinks that this will put a lot of stress on Tang Wunhui's upper meridian since his body hasn't been trained. Jinsu Kazuhiko concentrates intensely, preparing to copy memories into the imaginary space and manifest them there. A close-up shows a serious expression on a character's face, focusing on his intense brown eye and dark hair. A figure with long black hair falls through a glowing, intricate structure labeled as the Heavenly Demon, Divine Cult, Millennia, Old Secret Archive. Jinsu Kazuhiko reflects that using the primordial divine wheel reincarnation did not cause him to lose much of his memories. The character reflects on the most suitable cultivation method for their current situation. He holds a book titled Venom Dragon Cultivation Technique and reads the title aloud. A wounded figure with flowing hair and green poison aura demonstrates the cultivation technique of the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult after being expelled from the Tang clan. Jinsu Kazuhiko reads a book intently, absorbing information about the Tang clan's cultivation techniques as the foundation for practicing the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult's martial arts. The narration explains that while the Tang clan fights against the demonic cult, a book titled Venom Dragon Cultivation Technique is shown falling. Jinsu Kazuhiko contemplates using the demonic arts through the Venom Dragon Cultivation Technique, believing no one in the Tang clan would suspect him. Jinso Kazuhiko explains that embracing the poisonous energy requires enduring excruciating pain and consuming higher-level poison to replenish it. He narrows his eye emitting purple flames and says, however, Jinsu Kazuhiko confidently declares that after using the upper meridian, his dead man's eye has been opened. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks and asks how long the other person plans to stare at him. Jinso Kazuhiko admits he was handsome in his previous life but feels embarrassed when stared at for too long by the shadowy figures before him. A shadowy figure moves stealthily along the dimly lit corridor, the faint light casting eerie reflections on the windows. A group of stern elders led by Senior Cheon appears ominously, their presence causing a tense atmosphere. A fierce character angrily calls out Yan Wunhui, declaring how people always said he was crazy, but questions how he dares to be subjected by him, the vice cult leader. A chained man angrily demands the cult heir release him and warns they won't handle their wrath. Jinso Kazuhiko sits relaxed and smirks, saying that seeing everyone react like that makes him really happy. Two chained men angrily accuse someone of having a nasty personality even after dying and say that this is why they wanted to revolt against them. He clenches his fist with dark energy and warns that those planning to kill him should have prepared for the consequences. He falls to the ground with a painful cry, surrounded by a dark purple aura and shadowy figures watching silently. An older man with a beard clenches a glowing chain and accuses the other of already knowing his ability. Jinso summons a terrifying phantom king with glowing eyes and chains, while another character watches in awe from below. Jinsu Kazuhiko unleashes a powerful purple aura, his eyes glowing intensely as he prepares for a formidable attack. The character exclaims in shock, questioning if this is its power. An older man struggles on the floor, chained and frustrated, while a voice warns him about the consequences of his current state and growing impatience. An angry older man shouts that the other probably wants information, but the other calmly replies that he doesn't need it. The older man angrily questions, and the dark-haired figure calmly replies he has many people who will give him that information, surrounded by a purple aura. He raises his hand with intense focus, sweat dripping from his face as he prepares to unleash a powerful move. A fierce roar echoes as a massive, glowing dragon-like figure emerges, surrounded by swirling energy and light. He shows the elders a glowing wraith sphere and explains it is filled with extreme resentment of the dead and far more vicious than the most extreme venom. Jinso Kazuhiko declares that it will become his nutrition as he bites down on a glowing orb, emitting a sharp sound. The scene shows a large, stylized red sound effect on a white background, indicating a loud or impactful noise. Three men shout in shock and anger, their faces tense and eyes wide as they react to an unseen event. Jinso Kazuhiko screams in pain as dark energy envelops him, his body trembling violently. He is still standing after eating that, and someone recalls how he raised hell even after consuming the poisoned powder. Jinsu declares that with the vice cult leader defeated, it is time for the others to make their choice, his eyes glowing ominously with dark energy. A group of men with fierce expressions stand together under a dark, swirling purple sky, their tense faces showing determination and anger. The character questions if the other was merely following orders from an organization called the Association, referring to the great elders of the heavenly demon divine cult. A hand clenches tightly around small skulls, accompanied by a sharp, intense scream. The characters nervously insist they are not lying about an organization that doesn't have a name. Jinsu Kazuhito contemplates deeply, thinking that the problem lies in its members. He nervously pleads for trust, explaining they were shown some strange things to the cult heir. The elders of the divine cult gather solemnly before the towering temple under the full moon, worshipping the floating silhouette of the heavenly demon as a god. The cult heir reflects on the betrayal against the heavenly demon and the attack he endured, bloodied but defiant amidst the ruins. Two ghostly figures with anxious expressions sweat nervously as the narration explains their fear compared to the heavenly demon. Jinso Kazuhiko reflects quietly, admitting he thought the orthodox and unorthodox factions were manipulated by an external force. Three figures, including one in a light robe and another with glowing eyes, stand before a towering spire. As the narration explains, they have surpassed mankind and aim to climb the tower. Jinsu Kazuhito sits contemplatively on the steps, thinking the mastermind is much stronger than he had imagined. Jinsu Kazuhiko reflects on the luxury of time to adjust the amount of poison and slowly get used to it. He snarls defiantly, declaring that something is not within his possession. He angrily demands if she gave any food to that bastard as a cup shatters against the wall. Hajime anxiously questions why he is living normally despite orders, insisting he should be begging for forgiveness within 3 days. Hajime Renko laments the circulating rumors accusing him of murder and treason, worried about facing the patriarch during his upcoming visit. Renko sighs and asks what he was asked to bring, and the other person nervously replies it was information on the political situation of Jianghu, especially about unorthodox and demonic factions. She reflects that he was never interested in those things and has changed too much in the past 2 months. He wonders if someone is behind him, his expression sharp and alert. A man angrily declares that Kyujin and Yu Chang deserve attention and threatens anyone trying to take it, while a shadowy figure manipulates a puppet representing the branch clan patriarch's son. A man informs the matriarch that Master Yu Chang has arrived and completed his isolated training, prompting her surprised response. Renko tells the man to get lost and report anything strange about the bastard immediately, and he nervously replies that he will take his leave now. He asks if his mother has been well, his expression calm but slightly cunning. Kazuhiro invites Renko to sit and praises his progress in mastering hidden weapons, expressing pride in his son's hard work and growth. Kazuhiro says he heard about that bastard on his way and asks if he is still not repentant after being disrespectful. Renko sighs and admits she gets headaches whenever she thinks of him, expressing confusion about his intentions. Renko suggests someone is helping him, and the other person asks if she thinks so too. He explains that the man has little inner energy, isn't eating or drinking, and must be secretly fed elixirs every night to survive 2 months. She clenches her fist on the table and agrees, adding she doesn't know which fool is supporting him. Kazuhiro recommends having him join the Patriarch's visit, and Renko questions why he would do that with surprise. He smirks and suggests that if the opponent is playing on a bigger scale, the perpetrator behind him would also start to move. Hajime Renko thinks aloud that someone must be feeding elixirs to make him seem strong, and predicts the person behind him will soon claim the credit. Renko nervously worries about the trouble the bastard son might cause and its impact on the Patriarch's perception, while Kazuhiro dismisses the concern, questioning the son's potential influence. Katsuhiko smirks darkly and says he will stop him as a loving brother if trouble arises. A purple, ghostly figure swiftly flies out from the building's window into the bright sky. He reasons that even if the perpetrator uses tricks, the skill level of someone trained only in the Tang Clan energy arts remains limited. Jinsu exhales a mysterious purple smoke, his expression unreadable as he prepares to reveal something important. Jinsu Kazuhiko meditates deeply as a fierce, ethereal dragon spirit emerges behind him, swirling with dark energy and power. Jinsu questions the duration of the conflict, and the kneeling man confirms the demonic cult has been in civil war for 6 years. He crouches in the center of a glowing magical circle, surrounded by swirling energy and light. Jinsu struggles to rise, his body battered and determination burning in his eyes despite the pain. Jinsu Kazuhiko looks shocked and tense, his eyes wide open in a dark, intense atmosphere. A man kneels on the floor explaining the heavenly demon went missing due to a demonic cult's trick, while the person with black hair reacts with surprise and concern. Jinsu Kazuhiko looks down with a serious expression, a bead of sweat running down his face, indicating his concern or deep thought. A clenched fist surrounded by blue flames bursts through the water with force. A clenched fist surrounded by blue flames strikes with force, emphasizing a powerful and intense moment. A character with a high ponytail fiercely kicks in an empty room, while a voice emphasizes the importance of information. He thinks the traitors are using every method possible to locate the master. Jinsu concentrates intensely, summoning a glowing energy around his fists as he prepares to strike in the dimly lit room. The character thinks that if they haven't found him yet, they need information rivaling theirs. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands with his back turned, surrounded by ominous crackling energy spreading across the ground. A shadowy figure stands before a crowd as a voice reveals rumors about the Dark Supreme establishing a special security division. He clenches his fists with determination, thinking that his chances of finding him will increase. The voice remarks that he is on the verge of succeeding the 12 beats of the violent tiger. A small, spider-like creature with large eyes and a mohawk-like tuft on its head is surrounded by scattered round objects on an orange surface. A muscular man with long black hair clenches his fist as a glowing, fierce tiger spirit emerges behind him, radiating intense energy and power. He clenches his fist tightly against his bare chest, his expression serious and focused. Renko asks if it's the Big Pill again, and the creature replies that there's little it can do due to harsh security. A spirit angrily warns the frightened creature that it will be turned into a spirit pill if it doesn't work properly. Jinsu listens while eating, asking about the Dark Supreme's whereabouts, and the small creature replies that Tang Yucheng has finished seclusion training and returned. A hand tightly grips another as a small creature comments that the Dark Supreme's visit is near, questioning if that's all the information. A small creature warns that he saw him and his mom having a secret meeting about someone. He questions if Namgung Sanyung and Tang Yucheng had a secret meeting about him and demands to be told what was heard. The scene shows a traditional building under a bright blue sky with scattered clouds and sunlight reflecting off the roof tiles. Jinsu questions if there is a mastermind behind him, sarcastically dismissing the idea while the small creature firmly replies, "Yes." And he comments, they are writing novels. He reflects with a smirk that they are recommending him to the security division, clearing the path for him despite his doubts about their intentions. Jinsu Kazuhiko hears someone announce Hyung-sam's arrival and tells him to come in. Someone offers a steaming bowl, explaining that the lady said it is a tonic for the recipient. Renko questions the servant about the lady's orders on food, and he explains she allowed it to help replenish energy after suffering. Jinsu exhales calmly and instructs to leave it there. A man nervously explains that she wanted him to see the other person drinking it, then sighs softly. Jinsu Kazuhiko drinks calmly while thinking the poison is useless since he has already mastered the venom dragon cultivation technique. Jinsu Kazuhiko drinks from a bottle and reacts with a questioning, He thinks about the ingredients including 100-year ginseng, mixed flowers, lunacy poison, and purification tablets, considering them precious. A powerful figure explains the miraculous elixir's energy-restoring effects, while another clenches his teeth, eyes glowing with intense determination. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks intensely as green flames swirl before him in the dark. Someone warns that there is cinnabar poison in it. The character angrily accuses the Namgung clan of poisoning and using witchcraft on the young leader, expressing disbelief and outrage. He orders to shut it and spy on the lady to find out who her sorcerer is. A character shouts, "Yes, sir," as a door bursts open with force, sending a powerful beam of light into the room. He wonders if her plan is to drive him crazy using the lunacy poison and then use sorcery to turn him into a puppet. He places a bowl on the table with a sharp tap, drawing attention to the action. Jinsu asks why the man is still there after finishing his drink, and the man nervously explains a martial master sent by the lady is waiting outside. He questions quietly, asking if the person is the martial master. A man introduces himself as Tang Gon, the martial master assigned to young master Wunhui, while standing on a large tiled courtyard with another person. A man with a ponytail scratches his head while the narration introduces him as the fierce wind warrior, Tang Gon. He yawns widely with a blade of grass in his mouth, stretching his face toward the sky. She wonders why he, who lives lazily to avoid duties, has suddenly become her master. Kazuhiro explains he was asked to train Renko for 4 days before the clan head's visit, while Renko thinks he accepted out of laziness to help with preparations. Renko angrily points while expressing astonishment about a woman, and Kazuhiro covers his ears looking distressed. He thinks that she creates the impression of genuinely caring for her stepson. Jinzo Kazuhiko stands triumphantly over a fallen opponent, while Renko watches with a fan, her expression showing surprise or concern. Jinsu asks sharply what he is going to be taught. He calmly informs that there is a martial arts set for the other to learn. Jinso asks if they are set, and Renko replies he won't show twice, urging him to watch closely as they prepare to begin. Jinso Kazuhiko stands calmly as multiple shadowy figures swiftly move around him, while a narration explains the movement technique mimics moving like a shadow. He looks intently ahead and begins to say, "This is..." A figure stands firmly on the tiled floor, casting a shadow as the sound of footsteps echoes nearby. Kazuhiro demonstrates the shadow shroud step, while Renko questions if it is the technique Tang Yucheng uses. Jinsu grimly thinks about a woman planning to show off her son by comparing him to Jinsu, while another man smirks behind him. He explains that the shadow shroud step is ideal for use with poison or hidden weapons due to its covert movements. Jinso tells her he left footsteps on the ground to follow, while she thinks he moves like a shadow despite leaving clean footprints. The text states that he is worthy of the title, Fierce Wind Warrior. Hajime Renko confidently tells someone to try their best to learn the shadow shroud step and offers help if needed, then cheerfully announces he has learned it all. Hajime Renko reacts with shock and confusion, asking, "What?" in disbelief. Jinso Kazuhiko tells the other man that he just learned the shadow shroud step, standing confidently with one hand on his hip. The man with a beard explains that the shadow shroud step is difficult and takes 10 days for the Tempest squad to learn, implying the other has no martial arts experience. He confidently states that even a genius like him took 5 days, and truly understanding the meaning behind the form takes 3 months. Renko mocks someone for calling themselves a genius, her expression showing disbelief and slight irritation. Hajime explains how long it normally takes and urges the other to keep practicing. Jinsku says he learned everything, while the other person remarks that he really doesn't listen. He nervously warns young Master Wunhui that this is not something one can learn by just seeing it once. Kazuhiko bets 30 silver coins on mastering the Shadow Shroud step, surprising Renko with the high stake. Kazuhiko smirks and remarks on the monthly wage, stating he needs to bet at least 3 months' worth for a proper wager. He coughs nervously while declaring the Shadow Shroud step a priceless martial art made in the spirit of the Tang clan, then questions the wisdom of betting on it. He addresses the martial master respectfully, beginning to speak with a serious tone. Jinsu Kazuhiko asks with a sinister smile if the other person is scared, his expression dark and unsettling. Jinsu's eyes widen in shock and anger as he reacts intensely to an unseen event. Jinso mocks the other for being scared despite the fierce Wind Warrior's challenge, while the other insists on continuing training alone. A man with a confident grin commands to hold it and admits he will take money as a fee for disrespecting martial arts. Jinso Kazuhiko asks if the other person accepted it and warns there is no taking back him. Jinsu challenges the figure ahead to show his skills, his intense gaze fixed forward as he prepares for action. He reacts with shock and disbelief, asking how something could be possible. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks and addresses someone as Sir Martial Master with a confident tone. He asks if the other was planning to drink today, while noting the bag he holds feels quite heavy. He reacts with disbelief and fear, exclaiming, "No way," while sweating nervously against a red background. Someone exclaims loudly that this is a scam against a backdrop of a clear sky with clouds. One character asks when the other learned the Shadow Shroud step, while the other defensively insists he just learned it and never had a chance to study martial arts before. Hajime nervously admits the truth but questions how the other managed to do it after only seeing it once. Jinsu smirks and teasingly asks if the other was always so petty to deny results, then challenges them to go again. He expresses boredom with the current martial arts, asking if there are any other styles, while his intense expression shows growing frustration. Jinso mocks the fleeing man's empty pockets and confidence, while the other promises to return with more money to bet. And Jinso thinks how simple it is. The man with a beard confidently claims to know secret arts harder than the Shadow Shroud step, challenging the other to see how far he can get. Kazuhiko comments with a smirk that the person must be flustered after copying martial arts moves from memory and losing his coin purse. A lone figure stands amidst fallen enemies, reflecting on never learning martial arts but overcoming opponents as a cult heir. Jinso praises the spirit's effort in remembering martial arts forms, encouraging it despite its anxious excitement. He explains that stealing from a more skilled person is usually impossible, but with spirits pushing objects slightly, it can be done easily. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks darkly, declaring it's time to empty his new teachers. Hajime clenches his teeth in anger, while Jinsu stands calmly in the background with glowing eyes, their tense confrontation filling the dimly lit space. Jinso Kazuhiko shouts, "Soul-chasing butterfly," while performing a martial arts move, and then complains about the Tempest physical arts. Jinso Kazuhiko exclaims in disbelief about the Tempest. Dozen spins while a man below screams intensely with coins swirling around him. Two ghostly figures discuss a heretic's misfortune, and one recalls the suffering endured in life, expressing discomfort. Kazuhira cheerfully asks if there is anything else while the other man laments he can't loan more money from the bank, and Kazuhira responds that it's unfortunate. He suggests having one last round with a sly smile. He angrily declares that he is broke, with a tear and sweat visible on his face. He suggests putting everything on the line like men, emphasizing his proposal with a gesture towards several small bags on the ground. The man with a ponytail anxiously asks if he will be sold as a slave, while the other calmly denies the accusation. He confidently points upward and admits there is one important martial art he cannot easily copy. He glares intensely, his eyes wide with shock and determination. Jinsu hears something and reacts with a questioning, while looking to the side attentively. Jinzo strikes fiercely while the other winces in pain, acknowledging that other martial arts may be fine, but the Tempest dance is unmatched. A man with a ponytail sternly warns that speaking of the Tempest dance over a wager disrespects the Tempest squad, urging others to refrain from mentioning it. He insists he has the right to learn the Tempest dance, while the narration reveals he is the fierce wind warrior of the Tempest squad, despite seeming lazy. He acknowledges the other's right as the son of the family branch head and explains that showing it to him is not an issue since it was shown to the first daughter and third son. Jinsu tells Tangon he is not talking about bloodlines, but asks if he thinks he can learn it. Hajime Renko questions someone abruptly, his expression tense and confused. He shouts fiercely, declaring himself the Tempest Squad's fierce wind warrior, Tangon, and questions if he truly has what it takes to become a Tempest. Tang Wunhui loudly demands if he has the right to continue the mission of the Tempest Squad, standing determined with a figure looming behind him. He looks intensely focused and alert, sensing a sudden and ominous presence nearby. A lone figure kneels amidst fallen warriors and scattered weapons on a desolate battlefield under a cloudy sky. A cloaked figure stands on the temple steps, while a group of kneeling warriors faces him in silent reverence. Two men sit side by side, one with a sword on his back, quietly watching the cloudy sky as the light fades. A character reflects that 20 years have passed and the mission of the Tempest remains buried in their heart. He reflects with surprise that he never expected to hear such words from young Master Wunhui, whom he considers the weakest among the heirs. He reflects on the mission of the Tempest, expressing doubt about the sincerity behind mentioning the Tempest dance as a wager. Hajime clenches his fist in pain and exclaims how much it hurts while Jinsu watches silently. Jinzo asks Hazim if he would have taught him the Tempest dance when they first met 4 hours ago. Kazuhiro accuses the other man of planning to run off after showing the Shadow Shroud step, and he reluctantly admits it. He realizes that he was taunted into accepting the wager to prove the other's worth. Hajime tells Jinsu he sees through his hidden power despite rumors of change, and Jinsu nervously responds, while Hajime explains the difficulty of the martial arts he taught. Kazuhiro deduces the other has been secretly building energy for ages and asks if he is now revealing his hidden power, to which the latter confidently replies affirmatively. He comments that it is truly a nefarious scheme to backstab the family, his expression serious and contemplative. Renko thinks to herself that although the comment is a compliment in the Tang clan, it still feels strange to hear. Jinso Kazuhiko grimaces as ghostly figures praise the cult heir's skill, while he internally questions if they want to become a spirit pill. Jinsu asks firmly if he will be taught, while the other man hesitates, responding with a thoughtful, Jinsu explains that nobody can resist the cult heir's sweet words, adding that this technique is why so many pledged allegiance to him. Kazuhiro says, "All right," as Renko holds two glowing heads pleading for mercy, while Kazuhiro watches from the side with a serious expression. Hajime Renko declares he will teach the Tempest dance properly, his expression serious and determined. He smiles confidently and says, "Then," as if preparing to take the next step. He introduces Tang Wunhui of the Tang clan, stating that he asks for his master Tang Gon's teachings with a confident expression. Hajime looks up with a calm, thoughtful expression, as if contemplating something important. The man with a ponytail accepts the request from the other standing confidently with crossed arms in front of a traditional building. He steps firmly on the ground, announcing the start of the Tempest dance. Jinso Kazuhiko performs a powerful martial arts move, thinking that it will be difficult to learn so quickly. Jinsu proposes changing the bet with a confident smile as a hand gestures forward against the backdrop of a traditional palace. He confidently proposes a bet on whether he can learn something by today, adding that the loser will buy the winner a meal and drinks. Hajime Renko sighs and agrees to one meal, confident he will win this time. Hajime Renko smirks confidently and tells others to watch closely. A sharp object strikes the tiled floor with force, creating a loud impact sound. The text explains that the former Tempest squad members promised not to interfere in matters concerning the inheritance of the head of the family. Jinso Kazuhiko floats above the ground with a menacing aura, while the other character watches silently, reflecting on the implications of Wunhui's Tempest and Tang Gon's support. He stares intensely forward, his expression resolute and unwavering. A powerful vortex erupts above the building, causing debris to fly violently as an unseen force unleashes destruction. He closes his eyes calmly, standing quietly in a softly lit room with a serene expression. A character states that the greater young master Wunhui is, the better it is for all of them, while stacks of dirty plates are shown. Kazuhiko angrily eats alone amidst towering empty plates, thinking the other man won't even share a drink, while Renko watches in disbelief, questioning how this counts as a meal. A cheerful man asks Tang Gon if he needs anything else, and he replies that he wants another bottle of alcohol because he cannot bear to watch while sobers. He comments on the other's drinking habits while eating, and she retorts about the high cost of the Dragon Tower. Renko comments that the bar is high-end and the most popular restaurant nearby, and the other agrees while they sit at a table piled with dishes. Hajime Renko complains about the unexpected cost of the meal while drinking, and the other reflects that going to an expensive place like Dragon Tower didn't fit his plans. Jinsu Kazuhiko sits at a table, reaching under it while a tall stack of bowls stands in front of him. He touches a dark surface as purple energy flows upward, thinking that he can't delay it any further. Jinso Kazuhiko explains the communication spell of the revered demon god Mythos, while questioning if someone came to leave such a mark. He thinks about the need to inform those still in despair. Jinsu clenches his fist against a glowing surface with determination, while three small ghostly creatures float nearby, observing the scene silently. A small creature on a tree branch reflects on the lack of suspicious meetings for 10 days and wonders how long it must continue watching. A small creature with big eyes notices something and says, in surprise. A character notices someone wearing the Ching Cheng sex uniform and questions if that is indeed the uniform. She realizes the woman must be Tang Kyujin, the first daughter of the Tang clan, as she looks thoughtfully into the distance. A small creature worries aloud about a daughter, hoping the child is all right. A swift, curved strike cuts through the air toward a tree branch above a dense bamboo forest under a clear sky. The character thinks about making a good impression on the young leader and asking him for a favor while a powerful strike hits the ground near a traditional building. Someone angrily asks if the other means to break their mother's heart. A small creature with glowing eyes looks surprised and utters, "Eh?" while hovering in the air. Renko angrily accuses Kazuhiro of causing pain to Wunhui by grounding him in isolation and banning him from eating, while Kazuhiro listens calmly seated at the table. Renko reassures the other person not to worry about him, saying someone is secretly taking care of him and advises focusing on the Dark Supreme's vision. A hand slams forcefully onto the wooden floor, emphasizing a sudden and intense action. Renko angrily demands if mistreating him is justifiable and accuses the other of almost killing him despite having someone to care for him. He questions why someone is so angry about an illegitimate child and doubts if that person is truly his own child. She accuses him of always calling someone illegitimate and declares she will reveal the truth. Renko urgently shouts for Kyujin to stop, but he remains silent and determined as he moves forward. Hajime reflects on someone's excessive affection worsening since joining the Qingcheng sect and doubts her ability to succeed her father's position. A small spider nervously wonders how to report the situation, thinking the family is a whole mess. He angrily blames everything on a certain bastard and insists there is no need to wait for the Dark Supreme's visit. A small robotic spider hears a woman urgently saying she has to leave, and it thinks she is going out because of the young leader. Jinso Kazuhiko, surrounded by a dark aura, thinks that she must be going to see the sorcerer. Jinsu swiftly swings his weapon, creating a powerful arc of energy while Renko stands calmly, observing the attack from a distance. Jinsu swings his weapon fiercely, creating a powerful whirlwind with intense motion lines, emphasizing the force of his attack. He thinks that either those people left or they can't act due to some restriction while leaping swiftly through the rain with a weapon in hand. Jinso Kazuhiko attacks fiercely while thinking the situation is bad and he must hurry to become stronger. Kazuhiko praises Renko for keeping up with a weapon, then asks if he is still dissatisfied. He questions why someone from the Tang clan learned the Tempest Dance before mastering stealth and poisons, expressing disbelief and dismissing the idea. Renko thinks to herself with frustration that the people of the Tang clan are so fixated on there being only one path. He explains that the Scattering Flowers staff technique is a Tang technique, which is why its movements are broken into parts. He remains silent for a moment, then asks if the other person noticed that. The young student confidently claims to be great, while the older man retorts by questioning why he has not learned humility despite his greatness. Jinso Kazuhiko performs a complex martial arts technique surrounded by swirling black energy, while Renko Hajime wields a sword emitting pink light and cherry blossom petals. A smoking bomb is surrounded by various sharp weapons, creating a tense and dangerous atmosphere. The narration explains that a used tool can be recycled and applied in different ways, even if the martial arts technique varies. Kazuhira asks where to focus his weight during the move, and Renko begins to explain while observing him. The character explains that this is just to build stepping stones for the efficient use of poisons and stealth weapons. He grips a wooden sword tightly, his expression focused and determined as he prepares for an upcoming challenge. Jinso Kazuhiko contemplates mastering the 9 Heavenly Demon Sword by learning the Tang clan's weapon techniques, hoping to achieve what was once an unachievable dream in his past life. Jinso Kazuhiko laughs sinisterly while the other man asks him what he is plotting. Jinso Kazuhiko mentions Miss Kyujin's arrival while the other man asks if they are close, and he responds with a thoughtful, The scene emphasizes the name Tang Kyujin, surrounded by a dramatic red and black burst effect, highlighting its importance or impact. He recalls the only person in the 9 Dragons division who treated Tang Wunhui like family while holding a staff and looking up thoughtfully. Jinsu Kazuhiko sits alone at a round table, reading a document while adjusting his hair in a softly lit room. The letters revealed her deep worries and affection for Tang Wunhui. Kazuhira wonders if she will side with him when Namgung Sanyung becomes an enemy, while Renko explains she will visit the elders first and likely see him tomorrow. Kazuhiko quietly agrees with a calm expression, saying, "Okay." Jinsu decides to hurry before she arrives, and the other man asks if he wants to start the thing mentioned last time. He asks if they should start, his face mostly hidden in shadow against a red background. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks confidently and declares that he has already done it. One character asks if the other has followed the recipe for 10 days without fail while they sit in a traditional courtyard. A man kneels on the floor affirming with, "Of course," while another sits calmly at a desk covered with books and papers. Someone nervously thanks as a tied sack is placed on the floor nearby. A shadowed figure calls out to Mu Yung, who is seen cheerfully walking away toward a traditional building at sunset. He asks if he should get rid of someone, and the response is a firm yes. He explains that the poison has been in the system for 10 days, so even if the victim realizes it now, it is already too late. Two men practice martial arts with staffs in a courtyard at sunset, while one reflects on Tangon's effort and his own struggle, learning the Shadow Shroud step. Renko contemplates seriously, while Kazuhiko reacts with a dismissive sound, both immersed in a tense moment. Jinsu Kazuhiko contemplates the sunset while thinking there might be problems in the plan. He reflects on someone being too affectionate to take on a certain role while gazing at the sunset outside a building. He gazes thoughtfully at the glowing sunset sky, the warm light casting a serene atmosphere around him. He smirks confidently, eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and challenge against a dark red background. He turns toward the entrance and invites someone inside, saying, "Is that so? Come in." A servant nervously hands a letter to Jinsu Kazuhiko, who demands to receive it without hesitation. He reads a challenge letter demanding a duel with Tang Yuchang, his expression serious and focused. The man, troubled by poison effects, questions if the illegitimate bastard has lost his mind or if it's all part of a scheme. He raises a letter toward the light, while thinking that it is meant to poison the reader. He doubts that he was responsible for what happened, expressing uncertainty while holding a thin object near a tied scroll or package. Jinsu Kazuhiko clasps his hands with a sly smile, eyes gleaming intensely as he stands before ancient scrolls covered in mysterious script. He orders to reject the offer with appreciation, and the other person promptly agrees, addressing him as young master. Someone asks if the other is scared, the question appearing in a dark, ominous speech bubble against a plain background. He tears a paper with the word coward written on it and laughs, saying the person must be in a hurry. He warns not to accept any letters from the White Pavilion, emphasizing to stop taking them altogether. A character taunts others by asking if they are scared, while the word coward is boldly painted on the wall behind two men cleaning the street. He orders someone to notify the White Pavilion's people while a startled man listens behind him. A furious man shouts a challenge for tomorrow noon at the second training hall, threatening to personally shove someone's head down the toilet. Hajime Renko questions the delay in acceptance, while Jinsu Kazuhiko listens with crossed arms and a third person bows nervously nearby. Jinsu suggests an idea to Renko, questioning how someone with little patience can become the successor, while smirking confidently. He smirks confidently and asks if they are not going to try to stop him. He smirks confidently and says that this will be entertaining for him. Jinsu Kazuhiko clenches his fist with a determined grin, declaring they will fight his brother but just enough not to kill him. Someone exclaims in surprise about Chang having a match with Hui. The scene shows a traditional building with a bridge in front, emphasizing a quiet, possibly tense atmosphere without any visible characters. Renko urgently asks what he means, while he turns sharply away, addressing her as sis. He angrily claims that the illegitimate child taunted him first and tells the other to take their business to that person. She questions who started it, then realizes why she rushed to the White Pavilion as dark energy swirls around the building. The scene shows a dramatic sound effect written in stylized red letters on a white background, emphasizing a sudden or intense moment. He senses something fully now that he has come indoors, walking up the stairs surrounded by a mysterious atmosphere. He observes that there are marks everywhere indoors as well, noting the glowing purple cracks on the walls and ceiling. The scene shows glowing purple energy spreading across the floor, as a character notes that death energy and poison remnants can be found everywhere. She stands with her back turned, her hair tied up with a white ribbon, gazing into the dimly lit space ahead. The scene shows stylized purple Korean characters glowing softly on a white background, with no visible characters present. Renko senses a powerful spectral energy emanating from the dark, shadowy figure looming behind her. One character grabs the other's sword handle firmly, stopping the attack with a swift motion. Jinso Kazuhiko swiftly attacks with a glowing weapon while a dark-haired figure watches from the foreground, surrounded by dynamic motion and energy effects. Jinsu Kazuhiko swiftly slices through the air with a focused and intense expression. Mika looks shocked and confused, questioning, "Ak?" with a tear running down her cheek. Renko questions someone hesitantly while holding a sword, standing opposite a man in a dimly lit traditional room filled with soft light and shadows. Jinsu Kazuhiko comments on the fierce welcome, addressing his sister with a serious expression while holding a sword. Mika apologizes nervously, explaining she intended to stop it but didn't expect him to block it. He explained that she attacked while he was performing the Venom Dragon cultivation technique, causing his reaction to be delayed. He stands determined in the bright room, thinking that if she reports his poison and martial skills to Tang Yucheng, his plan will be disrupted. He looks tense and focused, a drop of sweat running down his face as he reacts to something unexpected. Renko expresses relief upon seeing the other is all right, despite hearing about mistreatment from their mother. The character reflects on seeing a face like their master's, one that truly cares for them. Renko remarks that it doesn't seem he was sent by his mother, while he holds his head complaining about the pain. Renko questions Hui about the energy he senses, asking if he has fallen into dark matters. Jinsu questions if the other means the poisonous arts he has learned, while purple energy swirls around his outstretched hand. She reacts with shock and suspicion, realizing the presence of poison and spectral energy around her. Jinso confirms the poison is cursed, explaining it combines mystic energy and poison to appear that way. He thinks it will be difficult to hide the mystic energy of his dead man's eye, so he plans to make it appear like something similar. Renko asks why he learned cursed poison, and he explains it is the only poison he can use without family assistance. Renko looks serious and admits that the other person doesn't seem to buy her explanation. He states that disregarding morals is natural for a Tang clan member seeking greater power. Kazuhiko challenges his opponent to stop him using their own power, standing confidently as dark energy swirls around him in the dimly lit room. Mika Honori suddenly reacts with shock, her eyes wide and a bead of sweat on her face signaling alarm. He remarks that Hui has really changed while she bows deeply in a room filled with shelves and vases. Kazuhira thinks to himself that he cannot allow Tang Kyujin to keep protecting him like she did with the old Tang Wunhui. She reflects quietly, acknowledging that things have changed from before. He smirks darkly, acknowledging why his mother and Chang were wary, and admits that the words spoken inspired a strong will to fight. He is shocked, his eyes wide open and filled with alarm. A shadowed figure senses deadly energy from a man in a blue robe, who is surrounded by swirling power while the former mocks him quietly. She clenches her fists excitedly and admits that they have exceeded her expectations. Kazuhiro notices the energy and thinks to himself, as I thought, that energy, while looking serious and focused. A figure surrounded by blue energy and shadows is identified as the Azure Spectral Streak, described as a soul streak and seed of the Limit Breakers. He admits to having had doubts for a while, his expression serious and slightly tense. A woman stands resolutely in front of a tall wooden sign, questioning why Tang Kyujin, the promising heir of the 9 Dragon Branch family, would join the Qingcheng sect. A man meditates calmly under a waterfall while a glowing, lightning-covered figure appears above, as the narration explains the soul streak's connection to soul cultivation and heart training. Mika smirks confidently while thinking about the Tang clan's ruthless teachings combined with her own. The narration reveals that she has become a ruthless murderer who stops at nothing. He remarks that she has quite disturbing energy herself while responding about his own energy. Mika is startled by an unexpected presence as Jinsu stands calmly, facing her with a confident posture in the dimly lit room. He apologizes quietly while gripping a golden object tightly in his hand. He apologized for forgetting his purpose and for disturbing the training by drawing his sword. Renko bows her head with clasped hands and sincerely apologizes. Hajime bows respectfully while Jinsu watches him, thinking about how easily he holds back the killing intent of the Azure Spectral Streak. The narration explains that the training of the Qingcheng must help, but Tang Kyujin herself has a very strong will. Mika drinks tea with delight, exclaiming that although she often drinks tea in Qingcheng, she has never tasted anything like this before. He explained that he had it brought from the Heavenly Eye Mountain. Renko remarks with surprise that she didn't know he was so knowledgeable about tea as they enjoy tea together. Mika excitedly remembers and announces that she brought something while leaning over the table. Someone explains that these are candied fruits from Meishan, while showing skewers of shiny red fruits. Renko cheerfully asks if he likes it while offering a skewer, and he admits he doesn't particularly like it, looking uneasy. Kazuhiko tastes something and thinks he should thank her in Tang Wunhui's stead, then says it tastes good. Mika happily exclaims that something is great, her face bright with joy. Renko smiles brightly while a dark, ominous shadow behind her thinks he can't get used to this. Jinso asks his sister why she came, suggesting he suspects she wants to stop his match with Tang Yucheng tomorrow. She looks down thoughtfully and begins to explain. That's part of it, revealing a serious mood. Hajime apologizes and acknowledges the harm caused by Mother and Chang while sitting across from Jinsu at the table. Jinsu questions if the other honestly believes he will accept the apology on behalf of others and forgive them. She quietly admits she wanted to apologize despite denying something. Hajime apologizes while Jinsu, holding his head, sighs and insists he will still fight him. She reveals her concern about being pushed into the situation, but realizes Chang has been involved in the scheme. She questions if he is sure about his plan, acknowledging his strength but warning that Chang is still skilled and making other preparations. He thinks she is aware of their ill intent but lacks knowledge of the specifics. Jinsu calmly sips tea and says he has his own tricks up his sleeve as well. He thinks activating their sorcery is intended to make him break down according to their plan. Renko warns that even if Chang is defeated, the household's power cannot be disregarded during their tense conversation. He clenches his fist tightly and warns that if Chang loses, their mother will do anything to hide it. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks confidently, revealing he orchestrated the situation while holding a cup and laughing quietly. An unseen character instructs someone to come to the second training ground tomorrow. Mika, surrounded by question marks, responds hesitantly, agreeing with "Me too?" All right. A vendor enthusiastically advertises sweet honey treats and dumplings to a customer holding a tray, with a traditional building and blue sky in the background. Two men excitedly announce the stakes rising and place 3 coins on the second young master's victory in 10 exchanges. A crowd gathers around an open arena as someone confidently bets 5 coins that a fighter will win in 5 exchanges. Renko nervously tells Hui he was what they were counting on, while he smiles confidently holding skewered snacks. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks and says she will have trouble hiding it like this, then begins to add more to his statement. 2 men stand in the foreground while a third man sits tied to a chair in the background under a bright sky. A man clenches his fists fiercely, surrounded by a glowing red aura, his expression full of intense determination and anger. Jinsu smirks while holding skewered food and says he set up a stage where he can enjoy himself. A large crowd gathers around an elevated platform inside a traditional courtyard, preparing for an event or ceremony under the bright daylight. He leans on the balcony railing and comments that there are a lot of people. Tang Tai remarks that young Master Wunhui has made a big deal out of this, and Tang Jin asks if they are here to watch too. 2 men discuss their duty to maintain order during the duel between the 2 successors, emphasizing the importance of ensuring nothing goes wrong. He smirks confidently and asks who they think will win the duel. 3 men discuss the brief training of young Master Wunhui and predict young Master Yu Cheng will win. 2 men discuss the duel, with one confidently stating that everyone thinks the same, but it was initiated by young Master Wunhui. He asks if she is curious to see why he did such a thing, his expression showing a sly smile. Jinsu, sitting with crossed arms, asks if that is all while the other man bows deeply in response. A man informs the other that young Master Wunhui spread news of the duel and opened the doors for spectators, to which he responds that he will personally teach a lesson and notes the crowd's arrival. He looks tense and serious, staring intently as a shadow falls over his face. Hajime Renko watches from a distance as someone asks if he is anxious because he is a mama's boy. He taunts his opponent to find their mother and come back holding hands, adding that he will wait here with a confident smirk. He angrily tells someone their mouth is as dirty as their mother's and demands they stop, refusing to be infected by their dirty mouth. He trembles with anger and demands them to stop after hearing mocking words calling him a mama's boy. He narrows his eyes intensely, filled with fierce determination and focus. Renko angrily shouts, "You damned bastard!" at a kneeling man who flinches in response. A figure forcefully jumps backward, creating a powerful shockwave as something is launched toward them with great speed. He shouts angrily, threatening to rip open Tang Wunhui's mouth. Several men notice Tang Yucheng arriving first, questioning why Tang Wunhui, who issued the challenge, hasn't appeared yet. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks while walking down the steps, thinking his little brother is easy to anger and that things are going his way effortlessly. Jinsu and Renko face each other in a tense standoff outside a traditional building, their shadows stretching long on the tiled ground under the bright sky. A man introduces himself as Tang Wunhui of the White Pavilion, stating he has yet to receive a title but still wishes to have a good fight. He taunts someone about minding their manners and being afraid now that they are on stage, his expression mocking and confident. Mika watches from below as 2 figures, one likely Jinsu, stand on the rooftop, while she thinks Wunhui angered him through a secret technique. Mika observes quietly while commenting that Mr. Wunhui is polite, but Mr. Yucheng is not. The character reflects that his attitude made it seem like Wunhui accepted the duel challenge instead of the other way around. 2 men stand facing each other on a tiled floor while a third watches from a distance, with thoughts reflecting on Wunhui's confidence and Yucheng's genius. Jinsu mocks low insults while Renko challenges if he is here to fight verbally, their faces close with confident smirks. A close-up shows a sudden sharp movement or attack, emphasizing tension and speed without revealing any characters. The man grimaces and says he is ready to begin, warning that he doesn't know what dirty tricks the other might be hiding. Renko attacks fiercely, declaring that things won't go the other's way, while the opponent is struck and reacts with pain. Several men watch as smoke fills the air, one asking if it's a smoke bomb, while another complains they can't see anything. Jinsu Kazuhiko thinks to himself that he wasn't expecting this while looking intently ahead. He reasons that using stealth weapons makes little sense in an environment lacking any cover. Jinsu calmly adjusts his sleeve, thinking that the opponent is not rashly attacking him. Jinsu calmly braces himself as a fierce opponent lunges aggressively from behind with a menacing grin. The character reflects that despite being considered inferior, the other does not hesitate to attack from behind. A character with glowing eyes swiftly attacks with a large sword, while another remarks that the move is the Shadow Shroud step, expecting nothing less from a Tang's. Jinso Kazuhiko taunts the other as he swiftly moves behind him, reminding that Tang was supposed to teach him the Shadow Shroud step. Jinso Kazuhiko smirks confidently while attacking, and someone screams in fear as he taunts them about forgetting something. The man angrily remarks that the other has already learned something and insults his mother while acknowledging his connection to their father. Jinso Kazuhiko unleashes a powerful attack called Shadow Shroud Chi, surrounded by intense energy and motion lines. A man with glowing eyes glares intensely, his expression filled with determination and menace in the dark surroundings. A figure swiftly moves with blurred speed lines as the text announces the activation of Shadow Shroud Chi. Jinsu stands alone amid a chaotic battlefield, surrounded by glowing red energy beams and a dark, ominous sky. He looks intently ahead, his expression serious as the sky darkens behind him. Jinsu thinks it is hard to locate his opponent in the smoke with just his bare eyes. He lunges forward with intense focus, surrounded by swirling purple energy as he strikes with a powerful, glowing fist. Renko grimaces with tension while watching Kazuhiro stand confidently against a glowing red background. Renko rushes forward with a fierce attack while Kazuhiro stands calmly with his back turned, unfazed by the sudden assault. He unleashes a powerful, fast attack, creating a bright slash that cuts through the air with intense force. The red-haired man attacks fiercely with dark energy, while a voice comments on the failure of his mastery of Shadow Shroud Chi. A furious man shouts intensely, his image reflected in a wide-open eye filled with shock and focus. Jinso struggles as dark energy surrounds him, while another figure walks away calmly, and the narration notes his bloodthirst is oozing out. Three men observe from a balcony, one noting the young master's improved proficiency in the Shadow Shroud step and his enhanced ki after isolation training. Three men observe a chaotic scene below, one commenting that it seems more like a game of tag and questioning if young Master Wunhui plans to avoid attacks until the smoke clears. A man with a scar warns that even if the smoke clears, it would be pointless if young Master Wunhui cannot land a good attack. The man with a beard proudly admits teaching a nice move, while the muscular man questions if he did more than the madam asked. The muscular man asks if they think he's terrible, and the others respond that they know him better than anyone else in the world. A dark, shadowy figure stands on a wall under a bright sky, with rays of light shining down on a traditional building in the background. A character angrily shouts about running like a rat, while unleashing a powerful swirling attack. He grimaces and thinks that the smoke is dispersing and he can't keep it up much longer. He swiftly steps on the tiled floor, causing a sharp impact that echoes through the space. Someone angrily declares that the other has brought this upon themselves. Jinso, Hadzim, and Mika launch a coordinated attack, while Jinso remarks that the opponent may avoid his strikes using the Shadow Shroud step. He faces a barrage of attacks while a voice warns that escaping is impossible inside the training hall. A red-haired attacker lunges fiercely with claws toward the lone figure standing calmly in the center. Someone angrily shouts, "Die, you bastard!" with intense emotion emphasized by the jagged speech bubble. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands calmly as a powerful red energy explosion erupts above him, surrounded by swirling smoke and debris. Hajime Renko realizes the torrential downpour of pear blossom needles means Yu Chang intends to kill Wunhui. Jinsu stands alone as a dark, ominous aura explodes behind him, radiating intense power across the battlefield. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks confidently and says he was going to play longer, but now it's time to end the fight. Jinsu Kazuhito unleashes a powerful energy attack, surrounded by glowing projectiles that rapidly move outward in a defensive formation. A crowd reacts in shock to a powerful wind swirling around a silhouetted figure standing on a platform. He braces against the powerful wind, realizing it is a tempest. She looks tense and explains that she couldn't see well due to the spectral and poison energy interference. He realizes the martial technique Wunhui has learned, standing confidently as energy swirls around him. The text reveals that the technique used was called Tempest Dance. Renko exclaims in surprise at the sight of the Tempest Dance, as Kazuhiro stands confidently amid the swirling storm. Jinsu Kazuhiko exclaims that the situation is impossible while standing firmly amidst swirling energy. He angrily exclaims that the other learned the Tempest Dance, which neither he nor his sister could master. He smiles confidently and says thankfully that someone paired him up with a great teacher. Jinsu prepares to strike swiftly, saying he better give his thanks. A powerful strike hits the ground with explosive force, sending debris flying and creating a shockwave. Hajime Renko strikes decisively, his expression intense as he delivers a powerful blow. A character with a determined expression lunges forward with a clawed hand, striking an unseen opponent with great force. Two characters engage in a fierce battle, exchanging rapid and powerful strikes with intense focus and energy. A man screams fiercely, his face twisted with rage and intensity as he unleashes a powerful shout. Jinsu launches a powerful energy beam at his airborne opponent, who braces for impact amid a burst of light and force. The scene shows a large red symbol with a textured, weathered appearance on a white background, conveying a dramatic or intense atmosphere without any characters present. He sits against a shattered wall, surrounded by dust and debris, recovering from a powerful impact. Two men discuss the surprising one-shot defeat of young Master Yucheng by young Master Wunhui while observing the aftermath of the battle near a traditional building. A large crowd gathers around a platform as someone announces that the unexpected has happened, causing a stir among the onlookers. Three men lean over a balcony as one asks how Wunhui used the Tempest Dance, and another confidently replies that he has what it takes. The man with a ponytail dismisses the concern with a smile, while the other angrily insists it's not a small matter, and he reluctantly agrees. He asks what they think and questions if his wind differs from the wind they once served. Three men discuss Wunhui's talent, with one expressing surprise and another explaining his potential to create a tempest in 10 days, suggesting he is worth watching closely. Three men stand on a balcony discussing someone's promise to lead the Tempest Squad, expressing hope and uncertainty about the future. He wonders why the man is still making wind and questions if it could be something significant while observing the scene from above. Jinsu calls out to his sister from above the stairs, smiling confidently as she grips a sword below him. Kazuhiro challenges someone to a duel, teasingly referring to himself as the still amateur brother. Renko looks up in surprise, quietly uttering, "Huh?" as she processes something unexpected. She hears others questioning if that girl is Tang Kyujin, the current successor of the Nine-Dragon family branch. While looking surprised and uneasy, she realizes someone must have returned from Qingcheng to greet the Dark Supreme, her expression tense as she grips her sword tightly. Two men discuss whether young Master Wunhui, who learned the Tempest Dance, and Kyujin, the strongest rookie of Sichuan, are going to spar while observing the scene. A group of people excitedly cheer, one saying the fight will surpass a previous battle, while another exclaims they struck the jackpot today. Renko calls out Tang Kyujin with a worried expression while Kazuhiro stands silently above on the stairs. Three men discuss the situation, with one expressing concern that it is getting out of hand and asking Tangon if Wunhui stands a chance. The man worries that Wunhui isn't ready to face Miss Kyujin yet and wonders what he is planning. He narrows his eyes intensely, sweat dripping down his forehead as he focuses sharply on something unseen. The character thinks that if he defeats Miss Kyujin here, he might even be able to aim for the air position. Mika thinks that Miss Kyujin likely knows this is a bad idea and questions what Hui is thinking. She thinks that if they were alone, she wouldn't care about saving face, but backing off now would bring shame to their family name. Jinso Kazuhiko faces a menacing, shadowy figure, urging him to trust his instincts and fight, while the dark presence mocks his worries with a sinister laugh. She shouts, "No!" with a pained expression, clenching her teeth and trembling intensely. He reflects on needing to worry about Hui's place in their family as an apology for his mistreatment. He asks what she is worrying about, addressing her as sister, while she adjusts her hair nervously with a sword at her side. Jinsu asks if the other is overthinking a non-lethal fight, and urges him to just enjoy it with a confident smile. She reflects quietly, admitting she barely had her desires under control. Jinsu stands calmly as a swift attack arcs past him, the motion lines emphasizing the speed and force of the strike. The crowd exclaims as Miss Kyujin steps into the arena, facing a man already waiting there. A character forcefully stomps the ground, creating a shockwave that cracks the floor beneath their foot. A young swordsman introduces himself as Tang Kyujin, heir of the Nine Dragon family, trained under Master Woohoo, specializing in alone in world style and lightning-severing quick-blade techniques. He declares his title Thousand Petal Beauty and expresses hope for a good match during their confrontation. He confidently introduces himself as the second child of the Tang clan's Nine Dragon family and requests guidance, mentioning his master Tang Gon and the Tempest dance he has learned. Two fighters stand ready on a platform as the crowd cheers loudly, and someone announces that the fight has been accepted. Hajime Renko remarks that she seems to be having fun, and she admits she hasn't been this excited in a while. Mika smiles wickedly and exclaims that it has been a long time. Kazuhiko remarks that someone might be a little too excited, and she responds with a sly smile, asking how she could not be. A hand tightly grips a sword handle as someone begins to speak, addressing our dear Hui. She stands with a sword raised, declaring someone wants to duel his own sister, her expression dark and menacing. Kazuhiro clenches his fist with a confident smirk, declaring, "Now," as energy swirls around him. He asks if she's ready, a confident smirk on his face. He utters, yep, so." With glowing eyes and a sinister expression, the man with spiky hair charges forward with energy swirling around him, shouting that they should get started. Jinsu sarcastically questions if the worst fighter is not given a three-strike advantage, smirking confidently amid a dynamic, intense atmosphere. Jinso realizes the early Windblade seal blocked his sword before, asks if he can now swing freely, while clashing swords fiercely with an opponent in a dynamic battle. A foot forcefully stomps on the ground, creating a burst of dust and tension in the air. Renko charges at Kazuhiro with a sword, questioning what he means by advantage after he told her to enjoy herself. Jinsu notices her speed and thinks to himself that she's fast while focusing intently. A figure swiftly dashes across the tiled floor, casting a long shadow as the sound of rapid footsteps echoes around. She expresses surprise and admiration, saying he is really exceeding her expectations even with Chang's skills. Mika smiles confidently and shouts, "However," while preparing to strike at the dark-haired figure in front of her. Jinzu attacks fiercely while telling the other he is still not proficient, and the latter struggles to defend, grimacing in pain. Jinso Kazuhiko charges fiercely toward an opponent in the distance, his fist clenched and ready to strike. Jinsu asks if the sword arts of Qingcheng have always been this violent, his expression a mix of challenge and curiosity. The woman with the sword tells the man that this isn't the sword arts of Qingcheng, her expression confident and challenging. She accuses the other of hiding energy from yesterday, then admits she is hiding her claws as well with a sly smile. Kazuhira stands focused and tense, sensing a powerful presence as the air around him crackles with energy. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks confidently and says, "Fine, if you say so." While a bright light emanates from his chest, Jinsu Kazuhiko declares he needs to show his power, surrounded by a swirling dark aura with a confident smile. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands calmly as a fierce, spectral tiger emerges behind him, radiating powerful energy and intensity. Mika excitedly affirms, "Yeah, this is it." With a bright smile, Mika charges forward wielding a sword, while someone exclaims about the poisonous aura and spectral energy surrounding her. Jinsu smirks confidently while holding a sword close to his face, his expression full of determination and a hint of menace. Jinsu Kazuhiko wields a glowing sword with intense focus as energy swirls around him, preparing for a powerful strike. Jinsu Kazuhiko observes silently, noting that her atmosphere has completely changed as an intense aura surrounds her. A figure stands before a monstrous demon-like entity, and the observer reflects that it feels like seeing a demon dressed as a beautiful angel. Jinsu Kazuhito decides to accept the first strike, determined to control the battle's flow with a single powerful attack. He explains that the Tempest full blow that defeated Chang earlier is now much more powerful while preparing to strike. He narrowly dodges a fast-moving projectile aimed at him, his eyes sharply focused on the incoming threat. Kazuhira attacks fiercely, shouting that the move is too obvious, while the other man falls backward, eyes wide in shock. Renko attacks with a powerful move, but he complains that the moves of the Tempest dance are too big as he is struck and pushed back. She warns Hui that when facing someone stronger, he should learn to be careful, her expression intense and slightly manic. Jinsu thanks for the advice while demonstrating the Tempest Dance's lethal speed and secret arts in a powerful single strike. Hadzim Renko explains that the technique only works against opponents of a similar level and has many flaws against stronger ones while preparing to strike. Jinsu Kazuhiko clenches his fist with determination, as blue energy swirls around him, preparing to unleash the 12 beats of the Violent Tiger technique. The character declares with fierce determination that they will engulf it in the tempest. He asks if she also learned the 12 beats of the Violent Tiger as they prepare to engage in combat. Jinsu Kazuhiko strikes fiercely at Mika Honori, who swiftly blocks the attack, their intense battle sending shockwaves through the air. Jinsu fiercely attacks Renko, who counters with a wide swirling strike, their intense battle sending shockwaves through the air. Mika smiles confidently as she swings her glowing sword with great force, creating a powerful slash in the air. Jinsu leaps fiercely with a high kick toward the other character, who urgently shouts, "Quickly!" In response, Jinsu strikes the ground with force, creating a shockwave that pushes Renko back as she braces herself with her weapon. Someone shouts, "Faster!" with urgency, emphasizing the need for increased speed. Jinsu Kazuhiko fiercely attacks with a glowing fist, while his opponent swiftly blocks the strike, both engaged in an intense battle. Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks confidently while explaining the logic behind counterattacks during a fight. Mika attacks fiercely with a sword, her expression fierce and confident as she strikes rapidly. Jinsu Kazuhiko blocks a rapid series of attacks, struggling to defend himself while coughing. He questions if he attacked too rashly while blocking a powerful strike with intense focus. Mika realizes the opportunity and swiftly dives into action, launching an attack with intense focus and determination. Mika expresses excitement, saying this is what makes fighting worth it. While striking with a weapon, Jinso challenges his opponent to entertain him more as they clash fiercely, their attacks creating powerful shockwaves. A crowd raises their fists and shouts loudly, expressing strong emotion or protest under a bright sky. A man asks what is going on while another exclaims in surprise that young Master Yu Chang is awake. He nervously admits that the opponent not only knocked him out, but can also match his sister evenly in a fight. A man urgently asks if their mother has returned, and the other replies she has not, while he thinks his sister cannot possibly lose. He thinks that the longer this drags on, the higher that bastard's value will rise. The onlookers exclaim in surprise as they notice young Master Woonwee hanging on during the event. He clenches his teeth with a tense and determined expression, shadows emphasizing the intensity of his emotions. The character urgently declares that they can't let that happen, emphasizing their determination. Jinso punches through a barrier, creating an opening, while a woman with dark hair reacts in surprise. Kazuhiro continues his offense confidently, but Renko warns him he's focusing too much on the sword alone. Jinsu Kazuhiko grimaces sharply, reacting to an unseen threat with tense determination. She smirks confidently, explaining that she is currently learning the teachings of Qingcheng, but studied the arts of the Tang clan until 5 years ago. Jinso and Renko clash fiercely, exchanging rapid strikes that aim for openings with intense focus and determination. He realizes the power of the azure spectral streak while delivering a swift, powerful strike. Jinsu swiftly performs the Shadow Shroud step, launching a sudden attack with his sword. Jinsu fiercely strikes with a sword, hitting his opponent who grimaces in pain and gasps loudly. Jinsu swiftly lands on the ground, preparing to launch an attack with intense focus in his eyes. The character reflects on tasting bile and feeling numbness spreading through his body with every heartbeat. Jinsu pants heavily, struggling to catch his breath after intense exertion. The character reflects on the feeling of fighting someone with martial arts using their own body. Mika looks up with a surprised expression, gripping a sword tightly as she faces an unseen presence. Renko critiques her opponent's offensive moves as beginner-like, but acknowledges their skill in reading and dodging attacks. Mika's eyes widen in shock as she is told she is as adept as a seasoned warrior who has fought 100 wars. Jinsu Kazuhito laughs and questions, "Haha, is that so?" While leaning forward with his hand on his knee, Jinsu Kazuhiko stands with glowing eyes, emanating a powerful aura as he prepares to unleash his energy. The man reflects on forgetting something crucial due to gaining martial arts, explaining he does not use his mystic arts rigidly in their original form. He smirks confidently, his sharp eyes gleaming with determination as he prepares for the challenge ahead. Mika notices the change in expression and compliments the other person on their nice smile with an excited tone. The man in the foreground charges aggressively, while the one in the background calmly remarks that he seems to have thought of a plan. A figure taunts about what Hui will do while swiftly attacking multiple opponents with powerful slashes. Renko grins confidently and says they should find out. Tang Kyujin launches a barrage of attacks without aiming for vitals, demonstrating the Azure Spectral Streak's tendency to prolong fights. Jinsu prepares a powerful attack called 12 Beats of the Violent Tiger, Tiger Clawbreaker, determined to use his strength against his opponent despite her goodwill. She questions if it's not bad, but wonders whether it's the same as before. Renko hears a sudden noise and reacts with surprise, saying, Jinso Kazuhiko summons swirling energy to restrict his opponent's movements during their intense confrontation. He smirks and asks if the other has learned to utilize the Tempest so quickly while the latter prepares a powerful glowing punch. He thinks to himself that this is dangerous, his eyes narrowed with concern. He unleashes a powerful energy blast from his fist, surrounded by dark tendrils of force radiating outward. An intense explosion erupts in the center of a large crowd, sending shockwaves and debris flying in all directions. Three men shout fiercely over a railing, their expressions filled with anger and intensity. Two characters react with shock and surprise, one shouting loudly while the other covers her mouth in disbelief. A man screams in shock, his eyes wide open and mouth agape, overwhelmed by sudden fear or surprise. Jinsu Kazuhiko launches a powerful punch, creating a dynamic motion blur as he strikes the ground with intense force. Jinsu lowers his head with a serious expression, the silence around him heavy and tense. The scene shows a bright sky with clouds and a loud sound effect, indicating a sudden action or impact. Renko looks determinedly into the distance under the bright sky, his posture firm as if ready for action. Jinso Kazuhiko forcefully strikes forward, unleashing a powerful energy blast that shatters the darkness around him. An intense explosion erupts, scattering a crowd of people in chaos and shock. Three figures stand on a balcony overlooking a person in motion below, surrounded by swirling mist and a bright sky above. Three men shout in shock and disbelief, their faces tense and eyes wide with surprise. A man with a top knot asks a question with a serious expression, while two others turn to look at him, responding with confusion. Two men exchange worried words about Miss Kyujin's condition, one asking if she will be fine, while the other implies they both witnessed something concerning. He looks down with a serious expression, sweat appearing on his face as if troubled or deep in thought. Jinsu summons a large, glowing dragon spirit that swirls powerfully above the tiled ground. Jinsu Kazuhiko calls out, "Sister, isn't that rather unfair?" With a serious expression against a cloudy sky, she walks forward through the smoke, asking if anyone saw what happened. She reveals her hidden intention to wait until she could force out the opponent's trump card, holding a sword with a determined expression. Mika smiles confidently while saying that if it was noticed, it must be inevitable, surrounded by crackling energy. Jinso Kazuhiko stands firmly with his sword raised as a powerful energy explosion radiates around him. Three spectators excitedly react to Miss Kyujin reaching the early peak level with sword chi during a demonstration. He praises his sister enthusiastically, expressing his unwavering belief in her. Hajime Renko declares that the opponent stands no chance as he faces Jinsu Kazuhiro on the cracked battlefield. Mika declares she can't let things drag on with her sword chi, and Jinsu acknowledges, saying taking too long against a weaker opponent would be rude. He narrows his eyes with intense focus, preparing for the next move in a tense confrontation. Kazuhiro raises his hand with a determined expression, preparing to take action. A clenched fist hits the ground as the character thinks that a Ching-Cheng sword wrapped in sword chi cannot be blocked. The character thinks to himself that since he can't show his mystic arts, he only has one option left. Mika smiles mischievously while holding a sword, and he comments that she seems to have thought of something, to which she responds with a grin. Mika smiles slyly and tells him she can tell his heart is beating super fast right now, while he grins back with a tense expression. Jinsu admits to getting excited and reflects that only a man obsessed with martial arts would react this way, while Mika looks surprised holding a sword. Renko demands clarification, asking what the other is saying, while he responds with confusion, standing apart on the cracked tiled ground. Mika smiles wickedly and declares that those who drive themselves mad over martial arts are true martial artists. Jinsu Kazuhiko suddenly reacts with surprise, his eyes wide and mouth slightly open. Jinsu Kazuhiko acknowledges with a slight smile that he is a martial artist. A man reflects on his past focus on martial arts while his shadow looms large behind him, symbolizing a deeper life he envied but did not live. A fierce martial arts battle unfolds between two fighters, exchanging powerful blows as one reflects on expressing his learned skills and their effectiveness against his opponent. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands confidently with his hair flowing in the wind, looking upward with a determined expression against a bright background. Mika smirks confidently and says she can continue now, since the other person looks like they've caught their breath. He confidently says yes and tells the other to go ahead. Energy beams clash fiercely, creating intense light trails and shockwaves on the battlefield. He grips the sword tightly, raising it high as lightning crackles around him, a fierce smile spreading across his face in anticipation of the strike. Jinsu realizes Tang Kyujin aims to end the fight with a single strike, so he prepares to counter with his most powerful attack, the Tempest Dance. He concentrates intensely, forming a bright sphere of energy between his hands while instructing to combine spectral energy and compress it. Jinso Kazuhiko unleashes a powerful attack called Tempest Dance, Thundering Wind Cannon, creating a massive explosion as he confronts his opponent. He grimaces in pain and shouts, "Ah!" as he is struck by a powerful blow. He struggles intensely, shouting internally to stop his useless thoughts amid a powerful force surrounding him. He stomps the ground with determination, thinking his plan either works or it doesn't, as dark energy erupts violently around him, cracking the ground and shaking the surroundings. He groans in pain, then expresses disappointment about the growing gap between him and his sister, but believes his opponent won't stand after his attack, before noticing something unexpected. He looks at a bright, swirling light and wonders aloud if it could be something significant. He concentrates intensely, channeling dark energy into his hand while wielding a sword, determined as he declares he was aiming for this moment. Mika is surrounded by crackling purple energy, her eyes wide with shock as the power intensifies around her. Two figures clash fiercely with swords, creating a powerful shockwave that sends debris flying around them. Jinsu Kazuhiko swiftly attacks, creating a powerful arc of energy as he lunges forward on the tiled ground. Jinsu clenches his hand in pain, gritting his teeth as rain pours down around him. A swordsman's weapon breaks amid a fierce clash, and the narrator insists the battle is not over yet. She swiftly swings a sword, creating a powerful slash with a blurred motion effect. Mika's eyes glow intensely as she smiles with determination, tears streaming down her face. Jinsu Kazuhiko grins menacingly as his eyes glow with a purple light, emitting a laser-like beam. Jinsu charges fiercely at his opponent, energy crackling around him as he lunges forward with immense force. Jinso Kazuhiko unleashes a powerful wind attack called Thundering Wind Cannon, while Renko watches from behind. Mika laughs excitedly, praising Hui as the best with a wide, expressive smile. A powerful footstep strikes the ground with force, sending shockwaves and energy rippling outward. A character executes a powerful martial arts move called the Rising Dragon Kick method, followed by the waterfall scaling kick of the ascending sun, surrounded by dynamic energy effects. Three men urgently warn that both of them are going to get seriously hurt because they got too excited. Three men suddenly stop and look down with shocked expressions, gripping the railing tightly as if startled by something below. Jinsu and Renko simultaneously launch powerful attacks, their weapons clashing with a massive impact that shakes the ground beneath them. Jinso Kazuhiko declares they have had enough time playing as he unleashes a powerful electric attack, while Mika Honori watches with a shocked expression. A man with dark hair tied back turns sharply, his expression hidden as he faces a bright, swirling light. Hajime asks if he intends to greet the Branch clan head in a hospital bed, while the three stand facing each other on a tiled floor. The speaker respectfully greets the head of the Nine-Dragon family. Hajime watches the man in front of him intently while the other person reacts with surprise, thinking silently, "So this man." Jinsu respectfully greets the head of the Nine-Dragon family, showing a serious and focused demeanor. The scene shows the bold red text, "Tang Ho-san," emphasized with dynamic lines, conveying a loud or intense exclamation without any characters present. Someone questions if the other intends to greet the Branch clan head in a hospital bed under a bright blue sky with scattered clouds. Jinsu and Renko simultaneously attack the man with the long ponytail, who calmly faces them without flinching. A character respectfully greets the head of the Nine-Dragon family. Hajime watches the man in front of him intently while Jinsu clenches his hands, and the man thinks, "So this man." Jinsu respectfully greets the head of the Nine-Dragon family, addressing him with seriousness and formality. Someone shouts, "Tang Ho-san," loudly, the text emphasized with dramatic lines to convey urgency and intensity. Jinsu listens intently as two spirits warn him about the young master's unexpected rapid improvement after the Tempest Squad disbanded. He thinks that even if the organization is strong, they were still a small-scale special squad of the Tang clan. A man stands confidently as the narrator admits he might not have won against him in a past life. He notices the other's dissatisfaction and comments on it with a calm, observant tone. Hajime asks if the other has something to say, while the latter nervously wonders if he was staring too hard. He looks intently to the side, his expression serious and focused. Renko asks what they were doing here, causing Kazuhiro to look surprised while another man stands silently nearby. He asks if there is any place in the Nine Dragons division where he is not allowed to go. Jinsu admits he was worried his lack of martial arts skills might disappoint the other person. Several men shout an alarm from a balcony while a crowd below reacts with fear and shock, and one man yells in surprise, all caught in a tense moment. Mika feels everyone is shocked and notices her sister is way too taken aback, trembling and stammering in fear. He thinks that talking back to the clan head was a reasonable response. Jinsu and Hajime face each other seriously as a voice accuses the illegitimate child of neglect. The character reflects on understanding the situation after seeing the remnant memories of Tang Wunhui. Hajime Renko looks solemnly into the distance, his expression calm and contemplative against a stark, contrasting background. The text states that he is a man of the Tang clan through and through. Hajime Renko admits he felt nothing from watching the duel, speaking with a serious expression while Jinsu Kazuhiko listens silently behind him. Kazuhira speaks while Renko looks surprised in the background. Jinso comments that he heard the personality changed, but this is better than expected, as the three stand on a tiled floor near steps. Jinso Kazuhiko approaches from above the stairs, while Renko, looking up nervously, braces himself for the encounter. Hajime Renko expresses his disappointment, stating he is disappointed in someone else. Hajime clenches his jaw tightly, his expression filled with intense determination and frustration. A man solemnly names Tang Gon, Tang Jin, and Tang Tae as three others kneel before him in respect. Three men bow their heads in exhaustion as one reprimands them for slow reactions, and they respond obediently with, "Yes, sir." A commanding figure orders everyone to disperse and handle the rest, and the kneeling men promptly respond with obedience. Hajime Renko asks Mika Honori why she looks so depressed as she stares down with a troubled expression. She confesses feeling unworthy of their father's attention, her expression troubled and anxious. Renko asks if he is all right, and he responds that it's just the kind of person he is. Kazuhiro explains that he will suddenly gain interest in a child doing well, but will just as easily disregard one who fails to meet his expectations. They discuss a bad father while one apologizes, and then asks if the other is hungry. He suggests having a drink after changing clothes, smiling confidently while snapping his fingers. The full moon shines brightly over the traditional building under a cloudy night sky, creating a mysterious and calm atmosphere. Mika excitedly exclaims that the drink is nice while holding up a cup, her expression full of joy and energy. He smirks while holding a bowl and asks if Ching Cheng does not feed the other person, suggesting they look like they haven't eaten for days. He comments that all vegetables are included while she reacts with a displeased expression at the dining table. Mika angrily bangs the table, declaring she should eat meat and drink whatever she wants because she is growing right now. Renko angrily complains about Taoists to Wunhui, who calmly offers him a drink. Someone enthusiastically encourages to keep pouring the drink into a bowl held by another person. Jinsu smirks while holding a bottle and asks about the nature of the other's greater martial brother during a meal. She blushes and stammers, asking why her martial brother is involved. Renko eagerly questions the other about their repeated mentions of a martial brother, who responds with exaggerated stories, causing her to shout for him to stop. Jinso menacingly insists on learning more about the visitor, while Renko accuses him of being corrupted by the evil sorcery of the Tangs. A man with black hair thinks about Li Chiolsen, a disciple of the Qingcheng sect, visiting for caution purposes. A shadowed figure warns that if the claim is true, all sects and clans in Sichuan will try to intervene. The character thinks that they are probably sending him to come here. She eats quietly while thinking that they can't blindly trust Tang Kyujin, although she hasn't realized it yet. Kazuhiro thinks something might be more important, then reacts with surprise, saying, "Huh?" Mika calls out to someone, asking if the man waving is the friend they were going to invite. Renko scolds him for not being gentler in the training hall, while he rubs his neck and she nervously calls out to him. Renko expresses surprise at the other's ability to manifest sword aura, and the younger one bows respectfully, thanking him as they stand near a table with food. Mika laughs nervously, while a small, smug figure of Jinsu glares from her shoulder, and she accuses him of never asking who she invited. Mika nervously urges her uncle to have a seat, and he gratefully accepts, expressing thanks. He comments on the large amount of food ordered and asks if it was put under his tab. Mika looks shocked as two hands off her drinks, asking if she hit her head somewhere. Renko urgently scolds Jinsu, who looks surprised while holding a cup. He laughs heartily while raising a cup, clearly enjoying the moment. A wounded man with arrows in his back shouts that he saved his father from danger during the Qingcheng bloodbath. A man nervously calls out to Uncle Tangon, who responds with surprise while holding a cup. He apologizes deeply, admitting he was unaware of the other's relation to his father, and acknowledges his rudeness. Jinso apologizes urgently while the woman nods approvingly, and the man sitting at the table listens attentively. Renko praises Woonhui and suggests that he will understand if Woonhui apologizes properly. He grimaces in shock and fear, his eyes wide and mouth slightly open as if reacting to sudden bad news. Jinso smirks mischievously while Renko nervously denies causing the other man's loss of appetite during their meal. Jinsu Kazuhiko leans forward with a sly smile, asking about the old Tempest Squad, the Righteous Wind Squad. He asks what score he thinks he gave them while holding a cup and smiling confidently. Jinsu confidently raises a bowl and declares the score as 10 with a sly smile. The man angrily says he is disgusted and demands confirmation while gripping a bottle tightly. Hajime enthusiastically agrees with Kazuhiro, who confidently says he knew it, while Mika listens quietly at the table. Mika offers to pour a cup for the man, who gratefully accepts, while Jinsu watches silently from the side. The character reflects on earning the attention of the old Tempest Squad, Tang Kyujin, and Tang Hosun through a duel. He thoughtfully chews, while considering what Namgung Sanyung might attempt before the Dark Supreme arrives. Someone asks how much further they have to go while traveling by horse-drawn carriage through a moonlit rocky forest path. A character reflects silently, thinking it didn't seem like the journey would be so far as the cart moves along the road. A small creature worries aloud that if they go too far, someone might kill them, thinking they have escaped. The carriage stops under the moonlight, and a voice asks if they have reached the destination. He remarks that they arrived without notice and wonders if the temple master will be there as they step down from the carriage. Someone urgently informs the temple master that the man who poisoned the young master has been identified. Dark swirling energy surrounds a large closed gate, creating an ominous and intense atmosphere without any characters present. The character angrily questions what the Namgung girl is doing. A shadowy figure swiftly bursts through the wooden doors, accompanied by a chilling sound. A shadowy figure with glowing eyes speaks about a difficult journey while standing in a doorway filled with swirling mist and a colorful sky beyond. Hajime Renko says the temple master sent him to greet the other, who admires the master's insight for knowing his arrival every time. A sinister girl with pigtails invites someone inside, while a voice exclaims in fear that a Zhangshi is present. A girl with a sinister smile invites them inside, revealing a live Zhangshi who has retained her memories and critical thinking from when she was alive. Hajime explains that she is using a live Zhangshi, a being difficult even for most alchemists to control, while they observe the scene silently. The character observes the unusual sorcerer's residence and remarks that it is not a normal one. A small creature expresses doubt about whether reporting everything so far is enough while hiding near a large mechanical wheel. A voice declares that enough is not enough as a whip cracks against a wooden fence under the full moon. The character thinks about needing to satisfy the young master so that he will listen to the request. A horned figure kneels in a dimly lit temple, fervently pleading for more and brighter oracles while holding a twisted staff. A messenger announces Madame Namgung's arrival, and the figure holding a staff orders to let her in. A mysterious figure greets Temple Master Zhang, who acknowledges the visit by noting something didn't work out again. He accuses someone of greed, stating their god favors only those who are regularly devoted, not those who come only when they need something. She speaks confidently about someone paying an unimaginable fee while making a sharp gesture with her fingers. Two open chests filled with numerous shining orbs are shown, emitting a sparkling light in the dim environment. A spiked armored figure leans forward while saying, "Of course." In a dimly lit room, a monstrous figure shouts that he would favor them, its fierce expression and sharp teeth emphasized by the dramatic lighting and smoke. Hajime excitedly asks if he likes it, while the horned figure examines the contents of the open chests with interest. The masked figure promises to add another box if successful, praising Madame Namgung for understanding how to receive their god's favor. A mysterious creature with a skull-like mask and a staff emerges from the mist, announcing "then" as it crouches in a smoky, eerie setting. A menacing figure wearing a skull-like mask grins wickedly and asks how he can help. Renko asks if the other remembers the favor she requested earlier, her expression serious. Someone confirms that brainwashing the concubine's child is already underway. A sinister figure with glowing red eyes and a skull mask grins menacingly, exuding an eerie and threatening presence. Renko states the situation has changed and demands something faster and more reliable, while the other character begins to respond with, "that means." Mika thinks of someone as a disposable card for the Dark Supreme, but worries the mastermind behind his moves, and Kyujin's attitude might cause trouble, while a shocked man reacts behind her. She asks if he can be turned into a live Jiangshi, her expression serious and determined. A small creature remarks that the madam's wrath has been provoked while a man with long hair and a horned skull figure face each other in a dimly lit room. A small creature urgently thinks it must inform the young master immediately while landing forcefully inside a large, bright room. The character contemplates the temple master's ability to create live Jiangshi while a swift movement is shown over a bamboo fence. Someone comments that it will be hard for the young master to handle him right now, as a small creature lands heavily on the ground. A lone figure faces numerous glowing pink eyes emerging from the darkness, reacting with shock and alarm. The character exclaims in shock upon seeing the terrifying beast Jiangshi emerging fiercely from the darkness. A small creature speaks about the ability to make beast Jiangshi, then acknowledges understanding with, "I see." A character reacts with shock to the ominous Black Bone Ghost Valley, while a voice reveals a faction of the Maoshan sect has joined the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult. A skeletal figure taunts a surprised man about being followed, and the man questions if he was tailed. A sinister figure with a skull mask grimly remarks that the mastermind behind the concubine child might be more troublesome than expected. Renko sighs and says he will add an additional box, showing a hint of concern. A mysterious figure laughs approvingly, while the other demands the mastermind's identity and the concubine's child to be turned into a proper live Jiangshi. A menacing figure laughs and suggests chasing the mastermind who came to them, gripping a staff with determination. Hajime notices a sudden fast movement behind her, reacting with surprise as the blurred figure swiftly passes by. A muscular figure with glowing eyes emerges from the mist and asks if he was called, addressing someone as master. A monstrous figure commands to grab the wraith that ran away and chase the sorcerer behind it. Jinsu kneels on the floor, turning to face a menacing figure with a skull mask and staff looming behind him in a dimly lit room. A lone figure ascends rapidly into the sky, surrounded by swirling clouds and a powerful gust of wind. A man with white hair crouches on a rooftop, reflecting on the beast Jiangshi's failure to catch someone despite his agility. A mysterious figure with glowing red eyes bites a hand covered in glowing red symbols, creating a tense and ominous atmosphere. A masked figure with white hair crouches on a rooftop, preparing to leap or attack under a stormy sky. The character senses an incredibly uncomfortable energy and reacts with surprise and concern. A monstrous creature lunges fiercely while a small figure with a determined expression runs forward, surrounded by chaos and debris in a dark, intense forest setting. A small creature urgently warns the young master to escape as a large, ominous figure looms behind it. A sharp, glowing sound effect bursts through the dark background, emphasizing a sudden, impactful moment. Kazuhiro asks if Renko is really not going, and she replies she will go once she sobers up, enjoying the nice weather while sitting on the ledge. He grimaces in pain while recalling Tang Yucheng's severe defeat and Namgung Sanyung's ruined plans. The character internally declares that others will try to harm him without care from now on. Renko tells Kazuhiro not to interrupt him, and she assures him to focus on training without worrying about her. The characters discuss the surprising upright character of a child from the Qingqing sect, despite their parents' backgrounds from the Tang Hosen and Namgung families. An unseen character shouts a warning about becoming wraith pills as two ghostly, bird-like creatures appear in the scene. Kazuhiro examines the object in his hand with a puzzled expression, quietly murmuring, as question marks float around him. The small spirits ask the young master if there is a problem, and he thinks something feels different compared to before his duels today. Renko reflects on the past delay between his thoughts and actions in martial arts while practicing with a staff and conjuring energy in his hand. A mischievous spirit claims to have been an instructor in the divine cult and asks if he can check someone's body. Kazuhira stands calmly surrounded by small glowing spirits that curiously observe him, each emitting a soft sound. Jinso asks if she has heard of accumulated merit, and she wonders if it relates to internal energy. But he clarifies the meaning is different. Three identical muscular figures stand solemnly with glowing auras, while a voice explains that a trainee's enlightenment and identity determine the types of merits they can accumulate. He questions if accumulated merit depends on the trainee's image. He confirms that even martial arts techniques like the Great Star Absorption method, which absorbs others' internal energy, are included in the explanation. A character commands to become my fuel, while grabbing another who reacts with a startled "Gah!" in a dynamic, energetic scene. He speaks solemnly about the accumulated merits of Tang Wunhui's body over 17 years, emphasizing the differing natures of the old and newly gathered merits. Jinso Kazuhiko believes Tang Wunhui and the young master's accumulated merits are starting to harmonize, though he admits it is just a guess. Jinsu reflects on beginning to understand and accept Tang Wunhui's identity as their merits start to harmonize, while standing back-to-back with a white-haired man. He reflects on not being able to live consciously as Tang Wunhui, thinking of the body as his own, yet subconsciously seeing it as another man's. A figure stands amid a shattered corridor with dark energy crackling around, reflecting on how their mindset shifted from using martial arts through Tang Wunhui's body to simply using martial arts. He reflects on his feelings after meeting Tang Kyujin and Tang Hosan, who regarded Tang Wunhui as an afterthought, while sitting outside a traditional building at night. He estimates the assimilation rate at around 40%, then contemplates the consequences if it increases. Jinso Kazuhiko is told he will be able to make achievements in martial arts easier, addressed as young master. A foot forcefully stomps on the ground, creating a sharp impact sound. Jinsu Kazuhiko swings his weapon fiercely, confident that the assimilation rate between Tang Wunhui's body and Yan Wunhui's soul will increase. He hums thoughtfully while observing Wunhui sitting confidently, reflecting on how much the latter has changed and become passionate about martial arts. She reflects sadly on how sorry she feels that he had to change and how her heart aches. A character exclaims in surprise as two hands raise cups for a toast, announcing that Wunhui has begun to build his own castle. Hajime Renko declares it will only get stronger from now on, while Jinsu Kazuhiko stands silently behind him. The narration reveals that their mother refuses to wait for Wunhui's castle to become solid. Mika's eyes widen sharply as a sudden intense sound echoes around her. Renko senses an approaching threat, while a sinister figure with a wide grin looms behind her. She confirms her suspicions silently. Jinsu Kazuhiko stands alone with a staff, facing a misty courtyard under a dark, cloudy sky filled with distant shouts. Jinso Kazuhiko confirms to the anxious spirits that the mysterious phenomenon before them is the ghost fog. He smirks and comments that from the cinnabar poison and manufacturing style, he expected them to use wraith sorcery. Kazuhiko smirks confidently, saying they've finally taken the bait and expresses eagerness to see how big the fish is. A mysterious figure with glowing red eyes crouches on a rooftop, stating that it has been a while since he has hunted. The masked figure explains that the mastermind behind the concubine's child uses a unique wraith sorcery and a special magic tool. A man with white hair crouches on a rooftop, declaring the sorcerer is nearby and expressing eager anticipation. A masked figure with glowing eyes declares that the ghost fog has risen enough while performing a hand sign covered in glowing symbols. A glowing magical formation appears on the ground, as a character suggests combining it with the thorny ghost fog formation. A figure with spiky white hair kneels on the ground as a swirling vortex forms in the misty air behind him, creating an intense and mysterious atmosphere. A dark figure with glowing eyes raises a hand covered in glowing runes, thinking that those outside can't sense anything. A dark figure with glowing eyes clenches a clawed hand, emitting purple energy, demanding to know where his prey is. A man with long black hair holding a staff senses something, while a white-haired figure watches him from behind, reacting with a questioning, Renko looks anxiously to the side, sweat dripping down his face as a faint purple light glows nearby. The character questions if their second target is the concubine's child. The character explains that the sorcerer did not use the wraith sorcery himself, but activated the mystic arts technique through the concubine's child. Jinsu grimaces and complains about the fog obscuring his vision, while a menacing figure approaches from behind in the dark, foggy night. Renko walks ahead holding a staff while a white-haired figure follows silently under a cloudy night sky. Thinking about targeting the concubine's child, A dark figure warns a man holding a staff that he won't sense anything due to ghost fog and offers to help him become a live Jiangshi with all limbs attached if he stays still. Renko approaches confidently through the mist, while two men watch her intently from the shadows. Mika approaches confidently, sword in hand, while two men watch her intently from the shadows. Mika lunges forward with a fierce grin, unleashing a powerful attack while shouting, "Gotcha!" as the energy beam streaks toward the opponent. He smirks while observing a swirling light, remarking on the formidable opponent sent against him. A death swordsman and a gudiao. He notices the threatening presence of a third-rank death swordsman and questions whether their plan will succeed. He explains that it would be harder for a Taoist from Qingcheng to lose to a Jiangshi of the same rank. But the problem is that the Jiangshi is an assassin sent by Namgung Sanyung. Jinso Kazuhiko questions whether Tang Kyujin will care about the situation or fulfill her duty to destroy evil as a Taoist while eating something. He declares he can only trust her decision right now while forcefully striking the ground, causing a powerful impact. A character with glowing eyes and bandaged arms recognizes the difficult Qingqing's sword energy while clutching their head in pain. A character thinks about a Qingqing Taoist at the Nine Dragons Division and wonders why Miss Tang Kyujin is here. Jinso attacks urgently while the other demands she cannot listen to a demon's words, refusing to hear him out. A masked figure with glowing eyes fiercely attacks while shouting at the Jiangshi to die again, showing intense aggression and power. A dark figure swiftly strikes from above, creating a bright impact on the ground with explosive force. The masked figure angrily thinks about their incompatible types and worries about hurting Miss Tang Kyujin if they fight properly. A character fears the master's fury and torture if a certain event happens, while a dark, menacing figure looms behind him. A masked figure with glowing eyes aggressively approaches a person with a made headpiece, demanding why they are so concerned. Bright, intersecting sword slashes fill the scene as the Qingcheng sword style's lightning-severing quick-blade technique is unleashed. Mika aggressively attacks from above, shouting for her opponent to stop thinking and just die. A character with glowing eyes and white hair thinks he is going to die as blood splatters around him. A character with white hair fiercely attacks, declaring he was going easy because she was Madame Namgung's daughter, but now will not hold back since he might die anyway. Renko looks intently forward with a serious expression, reacting to something unexpected. A character with glowing eyes and bandaged arms angrily blames the other for not listening, emphasizing the fault lies with them. A dark figure surrounded by glowing energy clenches their hand, preparing to unleash a powerful attack. Jinzo summons a terrifying ghostly figure using the ghost enhancement technique, standing ready with a weapon as the ominous spirit looms behind him. Mika reacts with shock and fear, gripping her sword tightly as she faces an unseen threat, exclaiming an expletive in alarm. A monstrous figure fiercely attacks a character, clashing with intense energy and force in a dynamic battle scene. A fierce character with a skeletal mask insists that standing down will prevent harm, declaring their actions align with Madame Namgung's wishes. A character with dark hair angrily swings a weapon overhead while recalling a warning not to waver, addressing Tang Kyujin about knowing something related to their mother. Mika thinks determinedly that she needs to defeat him and find out who the mastermind behind him is. A character exclaims in surprise about anti-demonic energy as a fierce attack strikes a monstrous opponent. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes angrily shouts about stubbornness while lunging forward with a clenched fist. A fierce battle erupts as the armored figure angrily thinks that if she weren't so stubborn, the fight wouldn't be prolonged. The scene shows a foggy rooftop with a character thinking about the risk of being detected by the Righteous Wind Squad and the unknown timing of the mastermind sorcerer's intervention. He thinks to himself that the longer this situation continues, the more disadvantaged he will become. The scene shows a loud exclamation written in stylized red letters on a white background, with no characters visible. A dark, winged creature screams as it soars through a stormy, cloud-filled sky. He informs the young master that he stopped the Gudiao from releasing more of the ghost fog while they watch a dark figure ascend into the sky. Jinso Kazuhiko remarks on the delayed use of the Gudiao, while a voice suggests it would have been better for the stubborn girl to fight it and for the death swordsman to arrive. A fierce, glowing dragon-like creature emerges with a powerful roar, surrounded by dynamic energy and motion lines emphasizing its intense arrival. Jinsu faces a glowing, fierce dragon-like creature, remarking that it is too loud at night. Jinso Kazuhiko commands to bow your head with a fierce glare and intense purple eyes. A monstrous purple ghost with glowing eyes and sharp teeth emerges fiercely, engulfing a small figure in its mouth as the scene announces purple eyes. First stage, Evil Ghost Haunt. A monstrous creature screams loudly, its mouth wide open and tongue extended as it lunges forward aggressively. Jinsu reacts with surprise as a powerful impact occurs nearby, his attention sharply drawn to the sudden event. Jinsu watches as a creature crashes into the ground, then comments that he never said to bow his head that extremely. Jinso Kazuhiko observes the aftermath of an attack, noting the sturdy body of a Gudiao and commenting on the effort spent to create it, while mysterious spirits surround him. Jinsu orders the bird-headed creature to get up as it screams in response. A monstrous figure offers two choices while a man kneels with a staff beside a bird-like creature, surrounded by smoke and tension. Renko grins menacingly and asks, "Or me?" While a creature screams in response, Jinsu Kazuhiko smirks darkly as he strikes the ground with a powerful whip, creating a burst of energy and smoke around him. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes demands why it is being attacked, as a dark, fierce dragon lunges toward it with a screech. A fierce battle unfolds as the sorcerer questions his control over the Gudiao while unleashing a powerful attack. The character warns that the most dangerous part is the sorcerer being nearby. The woman laughs menacingly while raising a sword, and the monstrous figure below glares with a sinister smile. A fierce young man lunges forward with a sword, declaring aggressively that he wants to cut his opponent. The scene shows a glowing red Korean character on a black background, emphasizing a dramatic or intense moment without any characters present. A fierce battle unfolds as one character screams in pain after his left arm is cut off, while another prepares to strike with a large sword. Renko fiercely attacks a monstrous opponent with her sword, forcing it to block her strike as the ground shatters from the impact. A masked character angrily questions the other about nearly killing him and accuses him of holding back because of Madame Namgung. She grimly declares she will rip him to shreds so he can repent for his mistakes. Mika declares she will save someone slowly with a sinister smile, while an unseen character questions the madness and doubts a Taoist would show such a face when trying to save others. A monstrous figure with glowing eyes grimaces in pain as a dark-winged creature looms above, emitting a chilling screech. A monstrous figure shouts angrily, calling someone a damn bird brain, while a smaller character stands in the distance, seemingly the target of the insult. The character wonders why the beast Jiang Shi, known for releasing ghost fog, behaves unusually around a certain guy. He declares his need to eliminate the remnants of the ghost fog while preparing to strike with his sword in a focused stance. A masked figure unleashes a rapid slash barrage attack against an opponent who braces for the incoming assault. A fierce figure with glowing red eyes declares that the ghost enhancement technique has been dispelled, preparing for the next move. He thinks urgently that he has to find an opening to escape. A figure with glowing red eyes glares intensely while a detached mechanical arm lies on the ground behind him, surrounded by mist. The character declares that there is still a fragment of the ghost fog remaining. A character unleashes a powerful electric energy blast from their hand, surrounded by crackling lightning and intense light. A figure with spiky white hair charges forward emitting energy, while another character braces with a weapon raised to defend. A fierce figure with white hair leaps aggressively toward a smaller opponent wielding a weapon, while a large clawed hand lies in the foreground. Someone shouts, "Where do you think you're going?" As several figures rapidly descend from a great height, a character with glowing red eyes glares intensely, radiating a powerful and ominous aura. Mika reacts with shock as a dark clawed hand suddenly emerges from the ground beneath her. A powerful explosion erupts with a loud "Urgh!" as an unseen figure is struck forcefully. Jinsu Kazuhiko grips his sword tightly, eyes fierce and focused as he prepares to strike with intense determination. A man with glowing red eyes clenches a small object tightly, sweat dripping down his face as he grits his teeth with a tense expression. A sharp strike hits the ground with a powerful impact, sending sparks flying. Mika charges fiercely at her opponent, shouting, "Ha!" as she launches a powerful attack. A masked figure with white hair throws a sharp weapon with intense focus, the motion blurred to emphasize the speed and precision of the attack. A blade slices through a swirling dark energy, creating a tense and violent atmosphere. She reports that he escaped, her back turned to the viewer in a dimly lit scene. She says that things have gone according to his plan, her expression serious and focused. Renko warns Wunwi about the demonic arts while Wunwi asks for help, and Renko responds with surprise. Renko listens silently with crossed arms while Kazuhiro gestures expressively, seemingly trying to explain something important under the night sky. Mika questions if they really shouldn't kill the Jiangshi about to attack them. showing concern and confusion. Jinsu says they need to gather enchantment first, speaking with a determined expression. Jinso Kazuhiro explains that the escaped branch clan member infiltrated the Tang clan's estate and spread ghost fog, suggesting he is strong enough to use an enchantment. Kazuhiko admits he lacks the power to defeat a Zhangshi in an enchanted place after many were cut down. She listens intently, worried, as someone explains that if they can force him out of the enchantment, something important will happen. Kazuhiro declares he will uncover the mastermind behind the Zhangshi, who attacked the Nine Dragons division with a determined and confident expression. She nervously realizes that if the information is true, the Zhangshi they face was sent by her mother. Jinso asks what will happen if he follows his mother's will, and the other character begins to respond cautiously. Renko declares he will simply become the loser in this game of wits, his expression confident and sly in the dim light. The text asks what it means to be part of the Tang clan, setting a reflective or questioning tone. Renko looks shocked and uneasy, a bead of sweat running down her face as she reacts to something alarming. Jinsu faces two towering shadowy figures with glowing eyes, gripping his sword tightly as tension fills the smoky air. She vowed to make sure he understands that they are more than what he thinks. Mika thinks she must push forward a little more while a startled bird cries out nearby. Mika, surprised, recognizes the beast Zhangshi from earlier and speaks, while the creature hisses menacingly at her. Renko asks in disbelief if it is still around, causing the creature to scream in shock. A bright beam of light shoots rapidly through the forest path toward a distant pagoda under the night sky. A dark, muscular figure with glowing eyes crouches menacingly in a misty forest at night, exuding a powerful and ominous presence. A character with spiky white hair angrily admits failure and contemplates reattaching his arm while trembling in frustration. A character with glowing pink eyes anxiously explains that after losing the Gudiao, the Nine Dragons division's security tightens, and his master won't tolerate failure. A furious man shouts in frustration, blaming a cursed woman for his predicament. A figure tells another he should have gone farther if he wanted to rest and questions why he is just standing outside the estate. He realizes with shock that they have already tracked him down and prepares to defend himself. Jinsu Kazuhiko appears silently in the forest, while an unseen character questions his presence and wonders if he was followed. Jinsu wonders if the sorcerer is pulling the strings while observing a mysterious figure in the forest. He thought they could locate the life gate of the thorny ghost fog enchantment if they were capable of stealing the Gudiao. A masked figure with glowing eyes grins determinedly in the forest, thinking this is his chance. A character thinks to himself that he will be able to uncover the sorcerer's identity, while a shadowy figure stands against a glowing red background. The character declares their intention to reclaim the Gudiao with determination. Jinso Kazuhiko stands shrouded in spectral energy with a menacing, ghostly figure looming behind him, while an unseen observer deduces the sorcerer has attached a stray ghost. A sinister figure with glowing red eyes and wild white hair clenches his hand menacingly, exuding a dark and threatening aura. He smirks darkly while commenting on Namgung Sanyung's desperation and doubts the alliance with the Black Bone Ghost Valley. The character with glowing eyes demands how the other knows about that, his expression filled with shock and anger. Kazuhiko smirks confidently, surrounded by dark purple energy, and rhetorically asks who knows. A mysterious figure with glowing red eyes crouches tensely, radiating an ominous energy in the dimly lit scene. Jinsu, with glowing eyes and a tense expression, urgently exclaims to stop, sensing something alarming. A dark figure with glowing purple eyes emerges surrounded by swirling shadows, emitting an ominous aura in the dimly lit scene. A dark figure cloaked in the evil ghost war robe appears, surrounded by ominous purple flames, evoking fear and awe in the scene. A hooded figure with glowing eyes and a sinister grin says he guesses the other is an old-timer, revealing the evil ghost war robe. A dark figure with glowing white hair and shadowy tendrils hovers menacingly above armed onlookers as the narration reveals the sorcery weapon of Yan Wunhui, causing chaos 10 years ago. A shocked character questions the dark, spectral figure about possessing evil ghost energy, expressing disbelief and confusion. A hooded figure with glowing eyes and sharp teeth asks if they really think he will answer their questions. A figure with white hair confronts a shadowy entity, emitting purple energy, challenging it with questions while the entity doubts it will receive answers. He responds that it is not the right time, while dark purple energy swirls around his outstretched hand. A sinister figure with glowing eyes and a menacing grin declares they will talk once the other is dead. A sinister figure with glowing eyes and sharp teeth declares they will talk once the other is dead, their hand reaching forward menacingly. A white-haired figure cautiously approaches a dark, hooded opponent radiating purple energy, thinking he might die from a single blow if the enemy is truly the cult heir. He clenches his fist tightly, surrounded by a dark purple aura, preparing to strike with intense force. A character with white hair watches a dark figure surrounded by purple energy approach, wondering if he will use mystic arts or the power of the Phantom King. A dark figure with purple energy aggressively attacks a white-haired opponent from above, their clash radiating intense power and motion. A character with a bandaged face reacts with shock, exclaiming, "What?" as a blurred hand swiftly moves toward them. A character exclaims in shock about martial arts as a powerful energy blast hits another figure, causing a dramatic impact. A figure cloaked in dark energy strikes a heavily armored opponent, causing blood to splatter as the latter screams in pain. A powerful figure crashes forcefully against a tree, causing a dramatic explosion of energy and debris. A character with white hair forcefully slams into the ground, causing debris to scatter around him. A mysterious figure with glowing red eyes crouches in the rain, covering their mouth as energy crackles around them near a tree. A mysterious figure with glowing red eyes covers their face with a gloved hand, exuding an intense and ominous presence. The character wonders if he used martial arts instead of mystic arts. Jinsu Kazuhiko shows a sharp, menacing grin, hinting at a sinister or confident mood. A monstrous figure with glowing eyes mocks that the cult heir cannot use martial arts and calls him a monster capable of destroying a dead swordsman with a flick of his finger. A character with glowing purple eyes angrily denies seeing the cult's ability to imitate others while surrounded by ominous purple energy. A figure with white hair and glowing red eyes screams as they unleash a powerful purple energy blast. A character with glowing red eyes questions the solitary chains of binding, while another explains it is a weapon the cult heir made himself. He admits missing his target while claiming the word genius suits him better than monsters. A figure in the shadows wonders how the man standing ready in the forest is still alive and using martial arts. A shadowy figure stands in the eerie forest, asking if the situation is confusing, while another character watches cautiously from the side. A mysterious figure with glowing purple energy declares uncertainty about their identity while confronting a shadowy opponent in a dark, eerie forest. He asks with a sinister grin if there is time to worry about something like that, his eyes glowing ominously in the dark. He thinks that if he delays any longer, the righteous wind squad or the horse-snouted woman will come to his opponent's aid. The character thinks that as long as he is aware of their identity, something important will follow. He thinks to himself that he can't run and must find a way to silence his opponent. The character thinks intensely about the possibility that he might be the cult heir, feeling a surge of urgency and tension. A shadowy figure taunts the white-haired man, asking why he still isn't making a move. A figure with glowing purple eyes mocks the promotion of swordsman, sarcastically criticizing the other for dragging around a gudiao and failing to fulfill their role properly. A furious character with glowing red eyes shouts, "What?" showing sharp teeth in a tense moment. A dark figure mocks the trembling white-haired man, saying he doubts he knows anything, while the latter angrily curses in response. A fierce figure with glowing red eyes and electrified hair vows to make the other regret their words, even at the cost of his lifespan. An intense explosion erupts, filling the scene with bright light and debris flying outward. A monstrous figure with glowing red eyes lunges aggressively forward, claws extended, emitting a fierce roar. He taunts his opponent for finally taking the plunge while preparing to strike with intense focus in his eyes. A powerful energy beam shoots forward, creating a swirling vortex of light and force. He thinks the other is trying to buy time by distancing them both from this place. Jinso Kazuhiko fiercely attacks, his intense gaze locked on the target as he moves swiftly through the chaotic scene. He thinks about trying out all the things he couldn't use while fighting Tang Kyujin. A bright, fast-moving energy beam streaks through a dark, wooded area, creating a powerful and intense atmosphere. An intense explosion erupts, sending debris flying violently in all directions. A character with white hair catches their breath and admits to getting too excited, now needing to retrieve a corpse from a shadowy figure. A masked fighter angrily retorts that the other's blabbering matches the cult heir's level while lunging forward aggressively. The character with glowing red eyes clenches his fist and says he finally feels relieved. A character with white hair and a mask restrains a dark figure glowing with purple lines, warning him about resting without using the return talisman. He realizes with shock that his attacks didn't work at all. Jinzu Kazuhiko mocks his opponent's attacks, questioning how they expect to retrieve his corpse with such weak moves. Jinzo Kazuhiko wonders aloud if the robe truly belongs to the cult heir, his expression a mix of disbelief and curiosity. The character screams in disbelief, clenching his fist and shouting that it can't be true. A figure with white hair unleashes a powerful energy attack against a hooded opponent, surrounded by bright, explosive light. A fierce battle unfolds as one character realizes his enhanced demonic attacks are ineffective against the other, who stands confidently amidst the explosive energy. He grimly admits that even turning him into a corpse would take ages with attacks like these. A furious figure with glowing red eyes shouts, "You damn brat!" and launches a powerful punch surrounded by energy toward an unseen opponent. A menacing figure declares the defense capability check of the evil ghost war robe, complete while gripping a glowing blue arm tightly. He declares it's time for the offensive capability check while unleashing a powerful purple energy attack. A fierce clash erupts as one character strikes with a glowing fist against a masked opponent with glowing red eyes, both engulfed in intense energy and motion. A powerful purple energy beam spirals downward, creating a vortex of light and darkness. In the misty forest clearing, a mysterious figure lies covered by a dark cloth, surrounded by dense trees and a faint, eerie glow. A blue-skinned character with white hair thinks to himself that his opponent is weaker, unable to inflict deadly wounds, and can be defeated once his mystic energy runs out. A dark figure mocks his opponent lying on the ground, taunting him about the weakening of his evil ghost war robe. A hooded figure with glowing eyes and sharp teeth reveals he knew the other was a Zhangshi of the Blackbone Ghost Valley and had made preparations beforehand. The character with white hair mocks the other for acting pompous due to wearing the evil ghost war robe, while the shadowed figure questions if it rots one's brain. The character demands to see what they have prepared to face off against a Zhangshi, his eyes glowing fiercely as he snarls A fierce battle unfolds as one character warns the other about running out of mystic energy while they exchange powerful, glowing attacks. A powerful purple energy blast streaks across the scene, indicating an intense attack or magical action taking place. A fierce figure with glowing eyes unleashes a powerful energy blast, the force radiating intensely as it moves forward. The character questions if it is an illusion art, expressing surprise and confusion. A dark figure with glowing eyes launches a powerful purple attack toward a white-haired masked man who reacts with surprise and tension. A shadowy figure delivers a powerful strike to a robotic opponent, causing it to recoil with a pained sound. A character with white spiky hair attacks swiftly while shouting that the opponent is as nimble as a rat. He grimly realizes he cannot pierce the defense of a dead swordsman at the moment. A figure cloaked in glowing purple energy lands forcefully before a white-haired opponent ready to fight in the rain-soaked forest clearing. He declares it's unfortunate but time to wrap things up as a large glowing spectral tiger appears behind him. A menacing figure with glowing eyes shouts, demanding if the other has still not realized something. While radiating intense purple energy, a fierce figure with glowing red eyes declares his attacks are ineffective as he is engulfed in energy. Then another powerful character charges forward, surrounded by radiant light and dark aura. The character laughs defiantly, claiming his body doesn't wear out like the opponent's robe and challenges them to keep punching, promising to repay the damage soon. A figure with glowing purple markings steps firmly on the ground, creating a sharp impact and stirring dust and debris around their feet. The figure surrounded by purple energy says he was worried it would drag on if the other dodged it all, while the white-haired man listens attentively in the dark forest. He mocks someone for deliberately getting hit by all of them, sarcastically suggesting that Zhangshi brains rot in the process. A menacing figure with glowing red eyes mocks his opponent for being cornered and challenges their ability to move. A sinister figure with glowing red eyes spits out a dark substance, his expression twisted into a menacing grin. A character in pain questions how he, a Zhangshi, could be poisoned, while another explains that normal poison wouldn't have worked. A dark figure surrounded by purple energy wonders if it could be the lost soul poison. A sinister character with glowing purple eyes and sharp teeth taunts his opponent for taking attacks with a bare body and tells them to enjoy themselves. A furious man screams about lost souls, eating away at his body while purple energy swirls violently around him. Three ghostly skulls with elongated necks emit eerie purple energy, creating a menacing and supernatural atmosphere. A dark figure unleashes a powerful, glowing energy attack, surrounded by shadowy creatures, then screams as the energy intensifies dramatically. He lands forcefully on the ground, causing dust and impact marks to scatter around his knees. A figure with white hair kneels on the ground, surrounded by a smoky aura, while another person's silhouette looms above them in the dark forest. Jinso Kazuhiko stands menacingly with glowing eyes and dark energy swirling around him, while a white-haired figure kneels before him in fear or submission. A wounded character with glowing red eyes weakly asks if the other is the cult heir. He reveals a terrifying grin with glowing purple eyes, exuding a menacing and sinister aura in the dark, illuminated by eerie purple light. He kneels beside a collapsed figure in the forest, telling them they aren't dying here. A figure with glowing eyes looks down solemnly as a glowing purple chain is held up beside him in a dark, misty atmosphere. A character with glowing pink eyes utters, "Solitary, chains of binding." In distress, questioning, "Nenno, are you?" While purple chains glow nearby, Jinso Kazuhiko announces his departure to the elders while surrounded by dark energy, facing a figure with spiky white hair in a shadowy forest. He commands to ensure the new recruit is trained thoroughly while mysterious blue energy swirls around him in the dark forest. The shadowy figures respond obediently with, "As you command," their glowing eyes piercing the darkness around them. A lone figure stands in a moonlit forest clearing as leaves swirl gently around him under a starry sky.